Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, April 30th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the NHL playoffs, Game 7, West first round, knotted up at 3-3, Seattle Kraken versus the Colorado Avalanche. Live reactions and watch party with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So we are just waiting for Florida and Boston to kind of wrap up. Florida ended up getting a goal within the last minute in the third period to force it to OT in Game 7 in that particular series. So we're just kind of on standby. This is going to be a doubleheader on TNT, but since I live here in the Northwest, in the Pacific Northwest to be exact, I get Root Sports, so I get the local Mariners and the local Kraken. So I got my own network that I can watch it on, but I may just watch it on TNT since most people are going to be living outside of the Pacific Northwest, so that way we can get the same kind of feed and the same announcers. I haven't got into a regular routine of watching Kraken matchups, but I figured, it's a Game 7. I was looking at the slate. Okay, I was like Warriors, Kings, but it's on at 12:30, a little bit earlier today. Then the Mariners were on earlier today with a big win over the Blue Jays, but everything was on at like 10:30 a.m., 12:30. So I figured, what can I do? Is there Sunday night baseball? But that was at 4 p.m. So I was like, I kind of wanted to spend time with Paisley, go outside, explore, get the most out of the weather that we're having. And then I figured if I can do something around 6 or 7 p.m. And then I had this hunch that I thought the Kraken would be on late. And this is actually perfect timing. I'm not really sure what the turnout is going to be because I normally don't do NHL matchups, but I figured, you know what? I like history, right? So regardless if it's Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, NFL, if something has a chance to like make a memory for me and history, and chances are if I'm going to watch it already, why not do the stream on it? I'm not an expert, obviously, on the NHL. There's going to be a lot of people that are much smarter than me, on the NHL side. Did I watch and play, the video games like NHL 94, NHL 95 on my Sega Genesis? Yes. Do I know of the history of Joe Sakic and some of these guys from back in the day, Patrick Waugh? Yeah, I do. But like I said, as far as keeping up with hockey, like on a game-to-game basis, I'm not there, but I figured this should be, an opportunity for Seattle to kind of go a little bit further than people thought. I don't even think people thought they would make it to Game 7, let's be honest, right? So I want to be a part of the history, regardless if they lose tonight, which I would assume there's a high probability that Colorado will win and Seattle will lose. But the way that the NHL playoffs have been going, the way that the NBA playoffs have been going, sometimes the higher seeds are choking. So this is kind of an odd year. And also in baseball, the teams that were really good last year aren't so good this year, including Sarah's Cardinals and my Mariners. It's a little unfortunate. And then you're seeing teams like the Pittsburgh Pirates, who traditionally suck, being good. The Baltimore Orioles, that traditionally suck, being good. So, I'm excited. So obviously I'm not going to be doing like a live play-by-play and reactions because I would be out of my element. I don't know the names of every single, player that's out there, from the centers to the obviously right wing, left wing, the defenders. So, we're just going to kind of do a live reactions as they, go throughout the matchups and obviously through the periods. And we'll do a little watch party. And then maybe if I end up, doing it a little bit more frequently, I may be able to test the waters. But also, too, the way that hockey is, it's so fast. So if you don't know and you don't have good vision and you can't see everything, I'm not sure if there's anyone that, I imagine there's probably a few people out there that have been watching hockey like, NFL, like us, right, since they were a little kid. And I imagine there's probably some people that could actually call a game on YouTube or Twitch, that have been doing it or watching it for a long period of time. But, man, you really have to keep your eyes focused on a lot of things just because of how fast they are and obviously, where the puck is going to be going. But I'm excited. Let's see what we can do. And hopefully the Kraken can get a victory. It would be pretty cool, for us here in the Pacific Northwest. And I'm just hoping it's not a blowout. I'm hoping that it's a good matchup. And speaking of blowouts, Kings and Warriors, huh? Steph Curry, 50 points, Game 7. I don't know. Anything over, what would you guys say? 15 points is a blowout, 20-point win against Sacramento, and Sacramento was at home. And then obviously Miami beat New York at home. On the road, the Heat 108-101. So that's kind of what's been going on today. And then my Mariners actually found a way to get the fucking job done. Pretty surprised when that happened, but hey, we had to go to extras, in 10, Cal Raleigh with 2 home runs in the game, and we ended up winning 10-8. And we beginning our ass kicked by Toronto. So we have a day off. Obviously for the Mariners tomorrow, I think I'm going to end up doing the Dodger game. And then on Tuesday, my birthday, we will be doing the A's and the Mariners for my birthday. I have an option to do either the Mariner game or the Dodger game, but if the Mariners are on, I'm going to do them, and we're going to have a good time. David in the building. How are you? The reason I can't do the games, obviously that are on the East Coast, because you guys fucking play them too early. The earliest I can get on in the studio here, since the girlfriend works from home, she works from 7 to 4. So if anything is on at like 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., I can't do the game. It's on too early. I have to do something that's on 4 p.m. Pacific time. And when it's the East Coast, they do the fucking times that are really early. And I know East Coast people are probably upset based on like West Coast stuff, because, when we end up getting it here, at 6:30, for example, it's already 9:30. So if you're an East Coast sports fan, you have to be willing to sacrifice sleep and stay up late. But that's the reason why, of course, if the Phillies and Mariners are on, come on, bro. You already know I'm going to want to do the game, but I have to be able to be in here to prep. And it also takes me usually about an hour and a half to prep. So if a game is on at 3:30, I got to start prepping, probably around 1 or 2. So anytime that the games are going to be on 4 p.m., I'll do them. But if they're on earlier, there's nothing I can do unless I record from my couch on my phone, which I don't know would be that ideal. I want to make sure I can, throw up the photos and have the full presentation. So I'm always going to try to do the Mariner games no matter what. But again, anytime Monday through Friday, if it's on before 4 p.m. Pacific, I'm not going to be able to do it unless for whatever reason the girlfriend has work off and I have access to the studio by myself. So Megan in the building. How are you? Hey, yeah. I mean, like I said, as far as like on paper, it may not look as good as last year's, but again, on paper, out of your 4 that, panned out, 2 were really only the ones that we thought, okay, Cross, Kenneth Walker III. We didn't know about Abraham Lucas. We didn't know Tariq Woolen was Tariq Woolen. So maybe this draft will be kind of similar, but based off what I saw, and I think a lot of people that know football, if you had to choose like 6 teams that killed it on the draft, obviously we know the Texans had the best draft. Eagles were very, very good. Now they're the Philadelphia Bulldogs because they get all the Georgia players. But I definitely would put Seattle somewhere between 3, 4, 5, 6 overall based on what they did, if those guys can pan out. Now, a lot of people can say, oh, I love this draft. I like this draft. I hated this draft. It's a little premature to say that you want any of those things, because you can say, oh, I love this draft. But what happens if the guys bust? Yeah, it sounds good, but we actually have to wait and see if these guys pan out and if they don't get injured. Then we can evaluate next year if it was a good draft or not. And sometimes you got to give a guy 2 to 3 years. Not everyone's going to pan out year 1. So, we can always say, oh, I love it. But we really need to be able to see like them play first and pray that they don't get hurt, and then see what names overachieve and ones maybe underachieve, right? But I will give you props. Seattle, I feel in the last 2 years, they've done more positive with Schneider and Pete Carroll than they've had done in the previous maybe 5 to 10. Drafting has been good, and they pick their kind of guys. Sounds like they're trying to recreate the Legion of Boom. And again, not everyone is going to be 6'4", in the corners and the safeties. Of course, they like them big and physical, just like when they had Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor and Brandon Browner and Earl Thomas III. But, remember, a lot of people forget Tariq Woolen is 6'4". So even though you got the new rookie from Illinois, 6 foot, he's still like kind of strong and beefy and kind of powerful. So I am excited. And obviously I know Tampa Bay is planning on probably tanking. There is a good chance I try to do maybe a little bit more of the Seahawk matchups, depending on if they're on in the morning, like if I have another game to do on Sunday night football or Monday night or Thursday night. But I'm intrigued. Definitely want to see what you guys do. And excited to see you guys grow and eventually win the NFC West. Right now, it kind of looks like still the Niners more than likely will be the number 1. But again, there's always going to be movement. And if they have an injury, boom, we already know that you can move up. But based on what I see, you guys look like a 10-plus win team going into next year. Somewhere between 10, 11, 12 could be possible. Now, if there's some injuries, maybe 8 or 9 wins. And if there's a lot of injuries or bad play, whatever, but I still don't think that Seattle can go any worse than maybe 7-10. They got too much talent. So even if they suck and have injuries and everything's going against them, they're still going to be a pretty good team. They're not going to fall off the face of the earth. And honestly, I think that they could be one of the better teams in the NFC next year. And there is a possibility that they win the NFC West or get the wild card. So Seattle sports is pretty exciting. I know the Mariners right now are struggling. I get it. I went there to Seattle. I saw the Cardinals in a 2-game set. Didn't get a chance to get a foul ball. Didn't even have a ball come in on my area because I think the seats were too close, based on, where we were sitting. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say. We were too close to be able to get a ball, but there is a little bit of kind of mechanics and luck and, kind of knowing where the angles are going to be with the baseballs. But yeah, Seattle will come around. But, you got the Mariners. All right. We got the Kraken. We got the Seahawks. Bring back the Sonics. Things are starting to get good. And obviously let me see if this is going on here. I got this on 2 channels. So what do we got going on here? Are they going to delay it? I think they're going to delay it, and they're going to wait for the third. They're going to wait for the OT to get over in the other matchup, and then they're going to show it. It's a national broadcast on TNT. So countdown to overtime is 1 minute. And anytime they have these big games, if they overlap each other, I would assume that they're going to wait and try to finish this period. But if not, like I said, I have the local channel for Root Sports that gets the Mariners and Kraken, and then I got the TNT. But I think I'm going to watch it on the TNT broadcast so that way I can listen with you guys. Now, if we had more people that lived in Oregon and Washington watching, then I could probably do the Root Sports, the local, broadcast with their announcers and everything. And eventually I'll end up watching some games on the local network. But I figured, for the first, matchup for hockey for me, not necessarily ever, I'll try to mix it in. Usually I don't do hockey until it turns into the playoffs. And prior to just, recently, we didn't even have a team out here in the Pacific Northwest. So there really wasn't any big incentive for me to do hockey. But now Seattle exists. They're pretty good, obviously in their new existence of the, of the franchise. And there are teams that I enjoy watching. Obviously, I watched quite a bit of Colorado. Once we got, kind of to the end of the regular season and the beginning of the playoffs and the Tampa Bay Lightning last year. And even though I didn't really watch it during the regular season, I still was able to predict Colorado in 6. This year, much harder to predict. I think like baseball, hockey, NBA, it's a little bit harder. It's not like a for sure thing. Like I knew that Kings-Warriors series was going to be the best in the first round. It went 7 games. So I feel like we knew like Boston, right? They were the team like Colorado last year. But the difference is, you think Colorado would have went 7 games with Florida and like all, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be good teams in the playoffs. Everyone is very, upbeat, up-spirited, thinking that they can do whatever, right? But we saw Colorado last year and they were pretty much dominating. Did they have to go deeper in some series? Yes. But I don't think they really looked like when they were the number 1 seed, you knew it. And chances are, as long as they didn't have injuries, they were winning it all. And then Tampa Bay Lightning, they went to 2 Stanley Cups. It was the 3rd in a row. What are the chances that you're going to be able to capitalize, after going 3 years in a row? Sometimes you're going to win. Sometimes you're going to lose. But this Boston team is on the brink of losing this Game 7 in the first round. And I think that's kind of rare. I mean, like I said, especially for a team that's like a 1, like you're supposed to be the best. They have shown some weakness, but also you got to give Florida a lot of credit. And I feel that's just the way hockey, baseball, and basketball have been. Yeah, and also another thing, too, with like that Knicks series. I kind of felt with the Knicks and Cavs, it could go either way. And now you're seeing with the Knicks and the Heat. So you can still be an underdog and do big things. Grizzlies, overrated. Lakers took care of it. But now, with the Kings and Warriors, we're going to get Warriors and Lakers. That's going to be much tougher for the Lakers to win. But, a little bit more eyeballs on that particular series because of Steph and LeBron. So kind of an exciting time right now, especially because I love sports where you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone thinks that they can predict everything. And I'm usually pretty good on some of the predictions as well. But I feel that baseball, basketball, hockey are always going to be the best when the underdogs shine and they do better than you think and maybe even go further than you think. Then you start to doubt like who those number 1 seeds are or who the favorites are. And then a lot of times when you have a weird year like this, who knows what's going to happen towards the end of the regular season for obviously the NHL, but for like Major League Baseball, I feel like we're going to have a lot of weird new teams in the playoffs that we didn't have before. Sarah in the building. How are you? Hey, release the Kraken. This is going to be the first of, I feel probably quite a few matchups, and maybe I can build a following of, doing some of the Kraken games. Now, it depends on what else is on. Obviously I'm going to lean towards Mariners over the Kraken. But again, if it comes into a time slot where I can actually watch this, with fans and just with friends and people of the channel, people that love hockey, people that know nothing about hockey, but at least that we can watch together. And then the people that know a little more can educate the others in the room. And I think one thing about hockey that is 100% clear, all right, for the Pacific Northwest fans, they want the Sonics back. We got the Sonics and Blazers, right? We got the Portland Winterhawks, but it's not the same. So now to be able to have the Kraken, and to see them have success, to be an expansion team, and then to take the champ that won it last year with the Stanley Cup to Game 7. Yes, we know Colorado is the favorite. Yes, we know that they more than likely will win, but the kind of X factor is that Seattle's really good on the road this year. So I feel that, like, with them being good on the road and the way that they've played already in this series, they're not intimidated. They're not like, oh my God, what are we doing here? This is like brand new for us. They act, and they've acted all season like they've been a franchise that's been in existence for like 20 or 30 years. So they played much better than anyone anticipated. And now we're here already in the playoffs. Anytime you can make the playoffs as an expansion team in year 2 or 3, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars in the NFL, now the Kraken, it's exciting because you just never know how far this Cinderella story is going to go. And I felt, Seattle's a long shot, but maybe if I do the game, maybe Seattle can have a little bit of extra luck and they can find a way to win Game 7. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing a lot, but I figured, hey, Game 7, I love games that mean something. And I do like the action in the NHL. The fans are awesome. They're very passionate and loud, which I appreciate, right? And the action is quick. It's fast-paced. I mean, you have to have good eyes to keep your eyes on the puck and it's going to be hard to know who's who unless you can look at the numbers and you automatically know who they are or by body shape. And I know sometimes that works that way as well. Uh-oh. Oh, what a block. Big save for Boston. And this would be a big upset if Boston loses this. And they're at home. So it's like the Kings already lost Game 7 at home. So just because you're at home doesn't mean it's an automatic win. That's what makes it exciting. Because I know Boston fans are incredibly confident, but I guarantee, the way that bettors have been looking at this for NHL, MLB, and NBA, it's not as an easy thing to make money and to predict now. And, I guess for bettors, that sucks. But for us sports fans, it's exciting because you never know, But at least Seattle fans are like realistic, I feel. They know that they have a chance. They can win this, but it is going to be difficult. It is Game 7. But if I actually look, and then you also have to look at, who's playing, who's not playing. Kraken, McCann is out. And how many people do they have out for Colorado? 1, 2, 3, 4. So a little bit of an advantage for Seattle, but obviously McCann, we know, is one of their better players overall throughout the season with points and goals. So we will see. You never know. Sports is an amazing thing. So let's release the Kraken, baby. It's good for us here in the Pacific Northwest too. Anyone that lives in Oregon like myself or Washington, it's like you may not be into it 100%. You may have not been to a game. You may have not watched a lot of games or any, right? But when you know that the playoffs are around, it gives you an opportunity to support and also to see what's going to happen. And we might have history. Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's do it. Jameson in the building. How are you? How did you enjoy the NFL draft? I know Odin's son and obviously Holly Hundo were there as well. I hope you had a great time. Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, but if you look at everything, I don't know, you're a Phillies fan, David, but like a lot of the good teams, that were last year, Seattle Mariners, the St. Louis Cardinals, the New York Yankees, the Phillies, like all these teams, right? The Astros, Very, very good and very dominant. Now you go into this year and everyone sucks. Everyone's fucking hurt. Everyone's playing like shit. No one can fucking hit. Pitching blows. And then you get teams like the fucking Pittsburgh Pirates, the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, I mean, I get it. If like the Braves are one of the top 3 teams, no fucking surprise, okay? But when you're getting like the Orioles and the fucking Pittsburgh Pirates and the Tampa Bay Rays making history, like no one fucking predicted that. And you know, some of the teams have rookies that are coming up, but still, it's just, I feel that the NBA playoffs this year is not as predictable. NHL playoffs, there's upsets. And then also, every level, MLB, NHL, NFL, not as much. But you do get them on the NFL side sometimes, but it's usually only like in that wild card round. Typically, the closer you get to NFC, AFC championship game, you kind of already have a gauge on what you think is going to happen. And obviously, home field advantage, much different. And in the other 3 sports, you have Game 7 opportunities. You have an opportunity to play like shit, make up for it multiple times. NFL, it's like a one and done. You play like shit, then, you're going home. You're on the couch. You're eating hot dogs and hamburgers while you're watching everyone else play. So, all right, it looks like they're on True TV. All right, so I'm still watching here, and they just started it. Now I got to figure out where the fuck True TV is. Fucking A, where are you? I might just have to watch it on the Kraken one here if I can find it. True TV, what the fuck? What fucking channel is that? I mean, I might just have to watch it here on the Root Sports, so I don't have to keep looking, and then they'll cross it over. All right, here we go. All right, so they waited long enough. They're like, you motherfuckers are taking too long on TNT. Let's go. So I got it on Root Sports here, the local channel for me here. But once the other matchup is done, I'll go to the TNT broadcast, so that way I can follow with everyone. I'm assuming most people are going to be watching on that. So, and I do want to go see the Kraken in person. I imagine once I go, then it'll be a different thing. Once you actually go and you're able to feel the passion of the crowd and kind of get that camaraderie and everything. And I'll probably buy a T-shirt or a jersey or something at some point. Then it'll be kind of real for me at that point. All right, first round, Game 7, 18-35 in the first period. 2 shots on goal for Seattle already. Last game, they lost 4-1 to Colorado in Game 6, but I think Seattle fans feel that they do have a chance that they can win this. And honestly, I think Seattle has played very well. Like, some of them have kind of slipped through their fingers a little bit, but I kind of think they're the better team this year. Colorado won it last year, but they're not as good this year as, that Stanley Cup championship team. So, but no disrespect to Colorado. I mean, they're still very, very good. Yeah, me too. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because the game will be later and it'll be on at 5, 6, 7 p.m. So anything that's going to be on the West Coast, I'll be able to do those. And then sometimes if they're early, like at 3:40, if I can get in here early enough, I will do them. But it just depends if I have time. Getting the photos and making the thumbnail, and getting all the photos lined up, and it takes time. I don't know if people realize, most people can just start stream and then they're good to go. For me, it's I have a lot of fucking work to do before I can even start anything in most cases. All right, got 2 shots on goal for Seattle, 1 for Colorado. Energy is high. Colorado fans are anxious. Seattle, I don't think they're really afraid. They haven't really shown they've been intimidated all year, and that's a good chunk of their success is just believing that they can hang with anyone. And sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, but I don't think they're really faking it. I mean, they've shown that they're just as good as anyone, and it's kind of cool to be able to see people that are not fans of Seattle and the Kraken rooting for them. Maybe that's just because they don't like Colorado and they're hating on them, but just as a new expansion team, cool jerseys, cool name, cool colors, good vibe. They got a good thing going here in the Pacific Northwest for Seattle. Now, I know the Sonics would be, great for a lot of people as well, but one thing at a time. Toby in the building, how are you? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, the way that they've been playing, right? It's yes, everything's going against them. Yeah, it's Game 7. And like I said, if you watch sports, typically, the team that has home ice right? Home field advantage, whatever it may be. Even if they've been getting dominated a few times, usually that crowd, is that energy will help that team typically win. It's just what happens. If you just watch sports, it's very rare that you get like a road team to do it. But in this season, for hockey, right, for basketball and for Major League Baseball, I feel like you're seeing the road teams not be as intimidated, and there are some upsets, from time to time. Like even with the Warriors beating the Kings, Warriors a 6 seed, the Kings a 3 seed all year, but that lack of experience and being in the playoffs for the first time in like 15, 20 years, right? And obviously we know the Warriors aren't as good as last year's championship team, but in game sevens, Steph Curry, 50 points, first time it's ever been done. Your best players are going to step up in the biggest moments. And so that one could have went either way. But again, sometimes the experience really does help. And then, obviously home advantage, home court advantage didn't help Sacramento. But they had a fantastic year. But I think with Seattle here, with the Kraken and Colorado, Colorado was the best team last year. You could tell that, as long as they didn't have any major injuries, that they were going to win it all. Tampa Bay, 3 straight Stanleys. But again, if they go, they're not going to win it every year, even with the talent that they have, right? But this year, maybe it was Boston, but I don't know, kind of doesn't feel like they're the same. And they're still in OT, still 3-3. I'm just waiting for them to switch it over to the TNT broadcast. I imagine I could have waited to try to find the true broadcast, but I didn't want to wait too long. I want to actually watch this. And I imagine the more I watch, the more I'll get into it. And then I'll, just like anything else, the more the more you appreciate it and the more you care. If you don't know the names of the players in hockey and you're not, you don't know the rules, you don't know the positions, of course it's going to be hard to get into. But if you actually, just like any other sport, you take the time and energy to read and, do your homework, you can get a lot out of it. Hockey action is so fast. And I've been to some Winterhawks games, which is kind of like the equivalent of like, AAA, for baseball. So that's what we have here. And sometimes the Winterhawks, in that particular lower division will be very, very good. They'll have guys that will go pro, but obviously it's nothing like going to a Kraken game. Oh, gosh. Intensity is high. Yeah, they have it. Like I said, they do have a legitimate shot. I feel like I said, upsets are a little bit more prevalent with NHL, NBA, and MLB this year than normal. NFL is pretty predictable. Once it gets a little further in the playoffs, you kind of have a gauge. But I don't know what's going on in the water, for NHL, MLB, and NBA. But it just seems like a lot of the underdogs are just, playing better. They're just finding a way. Or maybe the top seeds are just overrated and they played really good in the regular season, but they didn't get hot and healthy at the right time and maybe got a little cocky and overconfident. And then you're seeing the underdogs being like, well, you know what? We're just as good as you. You might be the more popular name, but we're going to show you that we're going to be able to hang with you and maybe we'll even be able to beat you. So, and that's good in sports. No one wants to fucking watch, what is going to happen all the time. It's like, it's kind of like wrestling. If you're a hardcore wrestling fan of like AEW or WWE, when Vince was running it, it's like you fucking knew what was going to happen. You already knew he likes the big guys that are on steroids, just like back in the 80s and 90s. It's like you want to be surprised. Like when Triple H took over, it was a little bit better booking, a little bit more surprises. And then keep me updated. I got the ESPN page up here as well. So this looks like it's still knotted up at 3 for Florida and Boston. And if Florida wins, that's a huge upset. Because Boston, by most people's standards, were the team to beat. That was the Colorado of last year, but apparently they're on the ropes. So we'll see. And obviously right now it's 14:06 left in the first period. 3 shots on goal for Seattle, 1 for Colorado. Energy is high. Game 7 in the West. First round could go either way. Go. Ooh. Oh! 3 shots. I mean, you can tell Seattle is very aggressive. They're not intimidated. They're just trying to get as many shots on goal as possible. And I like it. I like the intensity. But of course, the place is just going to go fucking bananas once they get that first goal, and hopefully that doesn't happen until like the second or third period. I would like Seattle to hush the crowd. If Seattle can get, and normally Seattle, ends up getting up early. So if they can get, like a 1-0 lead, 2-0 lead, I mean, that doesn't mean you're going to win. But, just to kind of hush the crowd a little bit. You don't want Colorado to, get that first one. Good save. And both teams' jerseys are fantastic. But Colorado hasn't had a whole lot of switch up with theirs. Sakic, Patrick Waugh. I remember playing the Sega Genesis and obviously the PlayStation, matching up with them a lot. All right, 13 minutes left in the first period. It's going to a commercial break. Let me get caught up in the comments here. Yeah, I mean, we already thought, that there was 3 teams, in the West and 3 in the East, and as long as injuries didn't have an issue. But look at, like, the Milwaukee Bucks are out. Giannis missed all those free throws. The Sixers. You're looking at all these teams now. It looks like maybe Boston. They look like it was either going to be Boston or Milwaukee winning it all. Now Milwaukee's eliminated. And then you already knew the Grizzlies were overrated, so good for you. Obviously, if you don't like the Lakers or the Grizzlies are kind of like the enemy of the NBA, right? Obviously with Dylan Brooks, which may never even be on the team anymore, and Ja Morant. But the Lakers now have a way bigger test. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to beat the Warriors, but that one could, go a little bit deeper. I'm not saying how many games specifically, but it wouldn't surprise me if it goes, 6 or 7 for sure. Yeah, but they've always been talented. They've always been talented. Maybe it's just better coaching, and I don't know, it's just something in the water. You know what I mean? Obviously with baseball, you've already noticed with the pitch clock, and obviously they have the violations. It just seems like maybe some players, it's taking a little bit longer for them to get into their rhythm. And also it's early. Anytime it's April or May, a lot of baseball teams suck ass. And it takes till June, the hot weather, the good weather, for the guys to get into a good rhythm, either in a pitching rhythm or a hitting rhythm. But as far as like hockey, I don't know, like with hockey, baseball, basketball, and right now we're in obviously the NBA and the NHL playoffs. It just feels different. It's like not as predictable. Last year, very predictable. The year before I felt was very predictable. This year, especially when you're getting more games going to 6 or 7 games in the first round, and you're getting teams that supposedly are Stanley Cup championship worthy teams, it makes you second guess a little bit because you wouldn't assume that Colorado and Seattle would go 7. You know what I mean? I know some people were hoping that Seattle could make it this far, but in reality, I think most people are very shocked that Seattle was this good this year and they're even in this position. Ooh, good save. Get it out of there. Was there? Oh, I bet. 3 shots on goal for each. Lots of aggressive play. No fights just yet. But I imagine that you and, Holly Hundo and Cyberpunk all had a great time at the draft. Ooh. Yeah, and I agree. And that's why I'm doing the game today. Like, I don't know. Like, I know Colorado is going to be the favorite. They're at home, game 7. I know how sports works. I mean, I've been watching sports since 1985, regardless of what sport it is. I know kind of history tends to repeat itself a lot. And that's why I'm able to predict a lot of things. Just kind of, I'll have a vision, or I'll have kind of like, kind of something that pops up into my head that I remembered from the past. But also history is meant to be broken. And sometimes, things that look a certain way, you can never underestimate that underdog sometimes, especially if they have great coaching or they're hot and they're healthy at the right time. Because you can have a better team, but also, right, a better team during the regular season. But if a team is hot and healthy as an underdog, they can beat that better team because they're going to be hot and healthy in that particular matchup. And sometimes that's really what it comes down to. The health of the players, and obviously how hot you are, how much momentum, how much Uncle Mo that you got obviously in the gas tank. Oh, Seattle. We're getting close, baby. 4 shots on goal for Colorado, 3 for Seattle. Oh, Florida won. Holy shit. Florida won and beat Boston. Well, there you go. Just like I said, with these underdogs. My goodness. Okay, I think I'm going to go to the TNT broadcast. Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's like, imagine if Colorado lost. All right, so I'm there now. Are they going to flip over? Or are they going to do like a little? All right, they're doing like the hugs and everything right here. Unbelievable. There you go. So that's one thing right there. Boston was supposed to win it all this year. That's what everyone, Boston was the best team. They were the Colorado of last year. Boom. See you later. Game 7. Nice to know you. All right. Now I got it on TNT, so I'll be watching it with all of y'all. Now, instead of it was being on True TV. Wow. I mean, fucking A. If Florida can beat Boston, why can't Seattle beat Colorado? I mean, why the fuck not, right? It's just cool to be able to see also like fans that are outside of the Pacific Northwest that are hardcore, die-hard hockey fans that are really rooting for Seattle to have success. I don't think I've really seen that out of a lot of expansion teams that come into sports where you see rival, hardcore fans that are like, you know what? Like I'm rooting for you guys. I don't know. I just haven't really seen that too often. And it's kind of a cool feeling to have like people that you wouldn't think that would be supporting you and trying to pull off the upset, regardless if you hate Colorado, and you're just not an Avalanche guy or girl. That might be one reason, but there's other fans that aren't Avalanche fans that are rooting for us. So, and I like Game 7s too because of the energy. You don't like have to be an expert on everything to appreciate a Game 7 on any level, MLB, NHL, or NBA. Can't believe Boston lost. Unbelievable. Yeah, and then obviously if McCann is playing, then I'm saying that Seattle, even though they still would be an underdog, on top of that, right, they would probably be closer to favored, or maybe Seattle fans would be a little, a little bit more like, we got this, But I still think that they can win this. If Boston can lose, why can't Colorado lose? Why can't we just have this crazy fucked up year where just madness and chaos ensues? I mean, fucking A, the Pittsburgh Pirates are good at baseball right now. What kind of world are we living in? Oh, good save. Let's go. New hook. Not today. Let's go. You know what? I honestly have not watched anything on the USFL. Bad timing. XFL, is just trying to like wrap up, with their little semifinals for their championship. There's too much awesome stuff that's on. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, wrestling, Major League Baseball. Like, why the fuck would I watch USFL at this point? Like, I'm a big sports guy, but that's so far down on the priority list. I probably won't watch any, honestly, unless we get to a point where nothing is on, and then maybe I'll watch, but I have no interest. I had more interest for the XFL based off the timing. USFL, horrible timing with everything else going on. I can't imagine anyone's like, well, NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs are on, but I'm going to watch the USFL instead. Said no one ever. Unless you have like a brother that's playing in the fucking game or something, or you actually have a team in your city and you're really hardcore about it, Just too much good stuff, man. All right, still knotted up at 0 here with 9:45 left in the first. Kraken since 68-69. Ooh. Oh. Man. Oh, baby. They'd be like, I'll give you a little extracurricular. That was close. Especially when you have your own guy fall into you when you get pushed from the other, and it's like someone lands on the goalie. You're like, oh. So far, so good, though. Which football league is my favorite? Out of XFL, CFL, USFL. I mean, like I said, I've been watching a little bit of everything since 1985. I mean, I'm 40, even though I don't look it. So I'm pretty, familiar with everything. But I don't know. I would assume at this point, I mean, even the XFL sometimes is not watchable. I mean, it just depends on who it is. If it's like the Roughnecks or DC Defenders or Seattle, the Dragons, I might watch a little bit. But again, nothing is like the NFL or college football. But if I had to choose between those three, I'm probably doing the XFL. And when the XFL has their championship game, I might do it. I just got to see what else is on and to see if there's something better. So. The professor is in the building. Greetings from Brazil. He said, go Avs. How are you? Elliot in the building. What's good? How are the Padres doing? Keep me posted on everything. Let them know. Let them know. We only need a couple hundred to get to 20,000. So, if anyone is inclined to, that'd be great. If not, it's all good. Yeah, I have a couple friends that are pretty hardcore, Warriors fans, not necessarily bandwagon. And I knew it was going to be tough. But again, even though it was game 7 on the road, it shows you game 7s on the road can be won. Warriors beat the Kings today on the road. Florida beat Boston just moments ago on the road. Can Seattle do the trifecta? Can we get 3 road teams to win in one day? I say it's possible. I really think so. Michael in the building. How are you? We said, what's my favorite college baseball team? I don't watch college baseball. I mean, I know some people love that stuff. I mean, anytime like Oregon or Oregon State would be on, and we already know the Beavers had those championship runs. And obviously the Ducks were never good like Oregon State. But yeah, I'm not really into it. It's like college basketball, college baseball, not really into it. Oh, big save. Oh, baby. Oh, huge save. Shots on goal for Colorado 7. They've really taken advantage here. Come on, Seattle. Get it out of there. There we go. Whew. Shit is giving me a heart attack. Let's go. Can we have 3 games? I mean, this might be the first time that we've had 3 game 7 winners on the road. I'm trying to remember the last time that I've seen a road winners win game 7, let alone more than 1 in a day. I mean, we already got the Warriors to beat the Kings, which was huge. Florida beating Boston is a fucking big deal if you watch NHL. And even if you don't, that's like Colorado Avalanche. They won the Stanley Cup last year. It's like if they would have lost in the first round last year. But obviously, Boston is not as good. Obviously, they couldn't complete the task. And that's why this season is kind of exciting for NHL, NBA, and I feel Major League Baseball is going to end up being that way too. There's going to be teams that normally are never in the playoffs. We're probably going to see a couple, that might end up. It's early. Obviously, I know it's April and we got a long ways to go to October, but there's a good chance that a couple of the famous teams don't make it, and a couple of the normal shitty teams, they might be in, because some of the shitty teams are playing the best baseball right now. Ooh. 9 shots on goal. Come on, Seattle. Come on, Kraken. You have to be so you can't be looking away, especially with hockey. It's like with soccer, it's kind of fast paced, but obviously you're not going to be, getting so many shots on goal. So you can kind of relax. Football, they get in the huddle. NBA is one thing, but NHL, I don't know if it would be easier for new fans to watch if they did like what they did at the All-Star game a few years ago, where they neon the puck and they made it glow. So that way that people, on TV could see, I'm not saying that you have to be fucking blind, but I know for some people it'd probably be easier to be able to follow the puck if it was like a kind of a glowing graphic around it. But then again, that for the hardcore fans, they probably wouldn't want that, because then it looks kind of like a video game. Let's go. Oh, I know, dude. I actually I didn't watch any of it, but I actually read the headline and I was like, holy shit, bro. So many home runs, so many runs and hits scored. Another good save. You are right. Dusk Fighter has got it right on the head. Unbelievable, Dusk. Unbelievable. DJ in the building. He said, go Avs. And there's a lot of Avalanche fans, in the Pacific Northwest. Like when I ended up going up to Seattle to watch the Cardinals and the Mariners, I saw quite a few people out of town and people that live there that are fans. And like I said, if you're Colorado, obviously, had its run with Joe Sakic and Patrick Waugh from back in the day, and then kind of had a period where they weren't like championship worthy until last year, right? But I feel that Colorado is one of those teams that you're going to have fans from all over the United States. It just depends on when you started watching them, especially if you watched back in that Joe Sakic, Patrick Waugh era, with the Sega Genesis and obviously the PlayStation era with the video games, because obviously I remember, and you still see jerseys, not as many as like, NBA jerseys or baseball or basketball, but every once in a while, you'll see the hockey jerseys here and there. And I'll see some Colorado ones here and there once in a while too, even here in Oregon. And not just because they're playing each other right now with the Kraken and with Colorado, just like in general. All right, shots on goal, 11 for Colorado, 4 for Seattle. Attempted shots, 9 for Seattle, 22 for Colorado. Wow. So Colorado started off a little slower, and they've really picked up the pace. Good thing Seattle's goalie's got his head on a swivel. Another save. Yeah, but that's why we do these, so that way we can learn. So that way people can educate you, like Odin's son watches on a regular basis, Sarah does. And I imagine we'll have people, that will be in here that will, be able to explain some things as well. It's like baseball. You knew nothing about baseball. You fucking hated it, right? Then you went with your homies, you went with your friends, obviously on just a trip. So you ended up going to a game, staying at a hotel, seeing like 2 games in 2 days. Now you're a freak. Now you're doing fucking fantasy baseball and you're doing like 3 leagues. So you just went from, I hate this fucking sport, to like being one of the most extreme people on planet Earth, even more than me. So, sometimes you just got to have a starting point, and if you start and you have a team or, have some kind of interest, or if you just hang out while we do these, eventually you'll pick it up. I mean, it just matters if, you're willing to do the reading and a little bit of film study, or put the time and watch some games, Unbelievable. Seriously, unbelievable. Couldn't believe that happened. Oh, yeah, but when the series started going further and further, I think more people got nervous, that maybe this Boston team, just because they were fantastic in the regular season, maybe they're pretenders. Maybe that they can be beat. Maybe they're not as good as maybe they're not the Colorado of last year, and apparently not. I mean, if you can't even get out of the first round, you're not championship worthy. So, but also you got to give Florida credit to even get it to Game 7, and then also to win on the road. Very difficult to do. So we saw Florida win against Boston today. Fantastic. Unbelievable, right? You had the Warriors beat the Kings on the road in Game 7. Kings were a 3 seed, and they were a top 3 team all year. Warriors were a 6 seed. Not as good as winning the championship team last year. And then Steph Curry throws a 50-point game, right? A 50-burger in a Game 7, which has never been done. So it shows you, the stars are going to come to play, but you can also win on the road. You just have to believe, and hopefully you're hot and healthy at the right time. See, and like I said, a lot of people, it's like, I think it's good for the sport. It's like when you end up having an expansion team, you're like, oh, hell, like, like you're going to go get tickets and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to watch Colorado. Oh, Seattle's coming to town. No, they're garbage, right? But then if you're like, are going to go to the game and oh, the Seattle team's actually pretty good, there's a little bit more interest where you are not going to automatically wipe the floor with them, that you actually could lose. And if you actually look at the record, 51, 24, and 7 for Colorado. Seattle, when you're only in your second or third year and you're an expansion team and you're going this far, 46, 28, and 8. I don't think anyone anticipated that from going from year 1 and what happened going into year 2. But it's exciting. They got a good look. They got a good, obviously head coach. They got everything going good for them right now. And it's kind of exciting. And the fans in the Pacific Northwest, I don't feel that everyone is fully on board yet. but I feel that it's starting to get there. You know what I mean? Because some people are just not into hockey, but I feel that, regardless if they go to the playoffs for a consecutive couple years or not, I think it's going to start to pick up steam here in Oregon, Washington. Now, as far as like Idaho, Montana, and some of those other places, maybe not so much. But I think, people that live in Oregon and Washington, we're getting more and more, especially if you're a Seahawk fan or a Mariner fan. On top of that, you just are going to be able to follow the Seattle brand. So let them know. Yes. Walltown in the building. How are you? Well, Jimmy Butler is playing great basketball. So, like I said, if you have someone that's playing inspired basketball, and also Giannis missing all those free throws and having the injury, let's just be really honest, plain and simple, right? If Giannis didn't get hurt, you wouldn't have won that series. So, obviously, him missing some time, and then obviously, being injured and missing those free throws, and Jimmy playing great, that was the difference. But if it's a normal year, the Heat have no chance in that series. Let's just be completely honest. But it's cool to see what they're doing. And not only that, they can match up with the Knicks really well, and they might end up winning that series. They're already up 1-0. That's facts. Yeah, so far so good. 12 shots on goal for Colorado, 5 for Seattle. 3:50 left in the first period. Still knotted up at 0. Oh, I bet. How many games are they there for? ESP, baby. What's good, Jonathan? Daniel in the building. How are you? Your dad's a Blackhawks fan for how long? Like all his life? Odin, my boy. How are you? And like I said, if I have anyone watching hockey, I want to have Sarah and Odin in here because I know you guys love it, and I know I'm not going to, necessarily do it all the time, but I will put some effort into it like I did with the thumb. And, I think it's just one of those things. I wasn't really into it before because I didn't want to be a bandwagon guy. I didn't want to like hop on the Detroit Red Wings bandwagon or the Pittsburgh Penguins bandwagon or, Sidney Crosby or Ovechkin, with the Caps or do like the Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky thing. Like I didn't want to hop on someone else's greatness if I wasn't going to be committed. I'm not a bandwagon guy. You know what I mean? So I just never could just be like, I had players that I like Gretzky and Lemieux, Brett Hull, Jaromir Jagr, like I'm not a fucking idiot. Like I played the video games, I watched, but I just never was like, one team was like my team. And I just didn't want to be that fucking poser and that fake guy that just like, oh, this is my team, and like, I don't know. But now with, living in Oregon and like Seattle having a team, it's going to be my team. It is my team. So, I figured this would be a good time to start. This is really the first Kraken game I've ever done on the channel, and I couldn't think of a better way to start than a game 7, just to kind of, just to start everything off. And then regardless if they win this or not, I'm going to try to do some, if I know that there's going to be, a need, it's just like building the Mariners, broadcast and whatnot too. So, I mean, hell, I might even do more Seahawks games than Bucks games because obviously we're trying to tank, and Seattle will be more exciting than Tampa next year. So, I'll probably try to do a little bit more Seattle games as well. Because no one wants to watch the Buccaneers next year, including myself, until we get a quarterback. So, all right, we got 150 left in the first period. Odin, my boy, I'm glad you're here, bro. I had to text you because I didn't know if you were going to get the notifications or not. And I'm glad that you're here, bro. Seattle's defense has been fucking phenomenal in this first period. 13 shots on goal for Colorado when Seattle was up like 3 shots to like 1. And then all of a sudden Colorado just went beast mode. And there was a couple kind of scary moments there, big saves. But the crowd hasn't been able to go crazy just yet. And I feel that every period that we go with being it knotted up at 0, if it ends up being that going into the third period, Colorado has a very good chance to lose because I feel the longer it goes with no scoring, the crowd will get a little bit quieter, a little bit more anxious, a little bit more nervous. it plays into Seattle's hands, and Seattle has been a good road team, and I think, they're not intimidated. Obviously, if they get to Game 7, they're not. It's just cool to be able to see an expansion team, within just a second-year existence, third-year existence, play this well, this confident, and you're going against the champs from last year, and you're not even afraid. Like, you expect to win, and they don't even have their best player playing on top of that. That's impressive. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I on the thumb, I was like, do I do live play-by-play and reactions? I'm like, there's no way. I mean, that's like, if I'm not familiar, I mean, I have enough knowledge, where I could half-ass it, but I don't want to half-ass anything. You know what I mean? I'd rather just, make it like live reactions and watch party. I mean, I think it'd be very, very difficult. Out of all the sports that's out there, I think actually calling a hockey game like an announcer would probably be one of the hardest things to do, honestly. Even if you've watched hockey as like a little kid, just being able to go through the terminology, knowing all the names, being able to watch the puck and watch each individual skater, and being able to call it, pass by pass, shot by shot, it'd be very difficult. Not impossible, but it would take a lot of fucking work. Yeah. And obviously, anytime you watch playoff basketball, playoff baseball, playoff hockey, especially playoff hockey, the intensity is up on another level, just like NBA playoffs as well, where it's like maybe NHL regular season and NBA regular season is tough unless you're a hardcore fan. I get it, right? But playoffs, doesn't matter who's playing, the energy is going to be ramped up. On top of that, if you end up getting two good teams like Kings Warriors today, or now Seattle and Colorado, it kind of, you don't have to be the most hardcore fan to feel that energy and to get excited about this matchup. All right, we're getting down to the end of the first period. 3 seconds. All right, scoreless first period. You got to think, if you're the Avalanche, you're probably a little frustrated that you had 16 shots on goal and you have nothing to show for it. And Seattle feels fucking fantastic. So, end of the first period, and then we'll have a little bit of a break here. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But the way that the Game 7s have been falling, Florida beating Boston. Boston was supposed to win it all this year. That's what, some people thought, right? Warriors on the road to the Kings. People thought, well, Kings should get it done at home if they're at home. They didn't think that Steph Curry would throw up a 50-burger. Seattle has a shot. The longer this goes 0-0, I think Seattle can win this. But obviously, depending on, if they get down 2, we already know how goals can be done in hockey. Sometimes you're going to be going 3 periods and then you finally get a goal. And then sometimes they go in waves where you get 2 goals in like 15 seconds. So, you can go both ways. But end of the first period, we're knotted up at 0, and I like it. The way that this goes, and if we also get I want to see some goals. I want to see some fights, some big hits. But the longer it goes being like this, the better chance Seattle has. And obviously, when Seattle scores first, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win, because we've seen them score first and obviously lose too. So, yeah, I know. That's why it's like, I don't even know how. Obviously, you have to be so in tune with, and also I think a big part of hockey also is name pronunciation. Like, if you're not familiar, or even if you are, the name pronunciation of a lot of like the Russian players and the foreign players, there's a certain way that you have to say their name. And if you're, obviously not an expert, I don't know how long you're going to be able to go by, fucking up names left and right. So obviously the name pronunciation in hockey is probably the hardest in any sport, besides maybe soccer. Obviously soccer is going to be difficult as well. Man, what a day, dude. Can't believe that. I can't believe Boston lost. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to take a look here. See if I can throw up a couple photos while we're just waiting. I'll try to get some photos of both players on both teams. Excuse me. Oh, it happened, everybody. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushion soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbing, you can use less.
Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Doors can lead us toward what's important. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a retirement income plan designed to balance growth and guaranteed income.
All right, Elliot and Cyberpunk and Sarah, thank you guys for helping me out on the Twitter. Anything that can be put on there will always help. Appreciate you guys. I thought the thumb came out pretty fucking good too. You know, it's my first hockey, thumb. I tried to find a nice, good image for, Seattle, but obviously them being like a newer team, sometimes there's less access, for some of the transparency and whatnot. But I felt, first one turned out pretty good. All right, let me see what I got. Let's see what we got here.
Now served up in birthday cake. Imagine you're out walking and you happen to be along the same road at the same time the driver is distracted by their phone. They look down.
Maybe I can find some college stuff too.
Now imagine being the driver with that tragedy.
There's a good one for Maddie on Seattle when he was in college on Michigan.
Put your phone in park. Notifications off.
All right, end of the first period. We're knotted up at 0. We're in a little intermission period, so I'll throw up a few different photos. Let's go. Let's do Eberle next. Jordan.
It's Alexis Intermission reports. Game 7. We don't have any goals, but couples thinking that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's game 7, man?
Right in the face. A big rig in there, mixing it up. 0-0. Colorado Avalanche didn't go to a game 7 during their run to the Stanley Cup last year. Pushed to a game 7 by the Seattle Kraken. Liam Q-Paul was net. Anson Carter, Henrik Lundqvist.
I'm trying to get some Colorado ones up here too.
And we talked about Walker maybe playing tight. Colorado's on a goal. Do they look loose though?
It just looks like their execution's on. And it was right for puck drop in game 6. They just purely dominated. And you know when those 5 guys are out there, we know the big 3. But when Taves and those complementary players are, as well as Rodriguez, the way they can get that 5-man cycle, create momentum for their team, and really drive those other guys to continue, it's something special to watch. If it wasn't for Grubauer right now, the thing should be 2-3 now. It looks like he's making sure the top players getting the rhythm. He's going pretty heavy with the top 3 lines.
Grubauer, baby. Yeah, I got to get Grubauer on here first.
Watching the play, it's scary looking. Just the pace, and to your point, the execution.
Yeah, if Grubauer didn't do such a great job, yeah, they would be down 2-3-0 in the first period. There's no doubt.
On point right now for the Colorado Avalanche. Before tonight, Bill Grubauer played in 1 game 7. It was with the Colorado Avalanche, and he suffered a loss. Now he's going against his former team. Take a look at it. It's our Lexus highlight. Hank, what are you seeing from him so far?
I mean, outstanding performance so far. First period. What I see when I break down the game,
That must be kind of weird, him playing against his former team.
Compact goalie. He keeps his feet pretty close together. Some guys like to stay really low. He keeps his feet together, even on when he's standing up. So that allows him to have a lot of power going side to side. So,
16 shots on goal. My God. 16 to 6. It's a big difference in the first period.
It also seemed a lot of time when he did the work was a player backdoor. Maybe he was a little tighter in his net, anticipating the pass, whereas where there wasn't, he was out challenging at the top of the crease. Am I crazy here?
You know what? He's been around the league for a long time now. His reads are really good. I agree. Like, he knows when to challenge.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I think it's just committing though, to a team or a favorite player. It's like, whether you collect cards or you're just watching, you just have to commit. Maybe, if I don't know if you would do it based on where you live or you're going to follow the same team as your dad or whatever. But I think it's just kind of one of those things once you just hop in and then it kind of, it kind of gets to that point where you dive into it. You hated baseball, bro. You went to 1 or 2 games with your friends and now you're doing fantasy baseball. And not only that, you're doing like 3 leagues, so you never know. Never say never, man. Kenzie has a good question. Over 26. Well, 6 in the first period. That's a good question. 6, 12, 18, because they're going to be more than 6 in the second or third period. 20, so 10 and 10. That I don't know. That is a good question. I mean, that if they have 6 right now, then you'd be doing 10 in the second and 10 in the third, or a higher or lower number. I don't know. I mean, that's way too tough. I don't know if that's like a prop bet on like DraftKings or something, but that I couldn't even tell you. I mean, the way that the game is going now, it looks like it would be under, but I assume Seattle will get aggressive and, kind of change it up. And I would assume in the second or third period, they're going to definitely have more than 6 shots on goal in both periods, I would assume. At least if they want to have a chance to win this.
This won't do well at auction, but at AT&T, it's worth a brand new Samsung Galaxy S23.
Wait, really? What about this?
AT&T's deal is back.
What's good, bro?
It's a free new Samsung Galaxy.
You got money on this game? Okay. Yeah, like I said, if you got 10 and 10 after that, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But I do think Seattle has a chance to end up winning this matchup. It's going to be difficult, but I mean, if they're going to have goaltending like that, where 16 saves and easy peasy lemon squeezy, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that every period. I mean, hell, they're pacing for what, 15, 30, 40, 48 shots on goal if they go at this pace, and I don't think we're going to have that. So they are, aren't they? Like, seriously, like, a lot of times, when I look at like new expansion teams or just teams jerseys in general, a lot of times I'm like, fuck, that shit is ugly as fuck. It's like, I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to wear that. But I feel like out of all of the teams that I've seen, like expansion wise, Seattle actually has one of the cooler logos. They actually have some of the like cooler colors. Like, I don't really think like this jersey concept is fire. I mean, like I said, the dark one doesn't look too bad either, but I think this one looks a little bit more swaggy. White always looks a little bit better to me, but I do think the color scheme with that kind of like powder blue, that lighter blue color, seafoam, bluish green, blue with the white. I like it, man. I like it. And I agree. The under for home runs in the Padres because they did so good previously. That's nuts. They just assumed that they were going to have that many like back-to-back games. See, that's why I had to message you, because I knew you were taking a little time off, Twitter and whatnot. So, and I didn't really know, like I said, I normally don't do a whole lot of NHL. So I was like, I assume that there'll be people looking this up on YouTube, and hopefully we'll, have some people hang out with us and watch this. And I'm not going to label it live play-by-play reactions. Just, if I did that, I'm not going to be able to do every play-by-play, but, just doing live reactions and a watch party and enjoying it with other hockey fans. And, we'll see what happens. And maybe we can get a Seattle upset. Sarah with $1. Help your boy out. Let's go. Hopefully we can get some more people to come in here and show some love, and we'll get some of the goats in here. $1 holla, 99 to go. I appreciate you. A bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, $1.99 to go. Goats, where you at? Help your boy out. And like I said, if you can't donate, that's okay. If you can sub, like, comment, whatever you feel necessary, would be fantastic. Do some Mario Lemieux. I can do that.
You want upsets? How about this? Florida Panthers against the record-setting Boston Bruins. Game 7, a minute left. Brandon Montour will go okay.
Late in the hockey game, Florida Panthers not giving up. This is a bit of a broken play, but
yeah, well, Boston already was fucked when they gave up that last goal with a minute remaining in the third period. Uncle Mo, that momentum was very, very high, and they were already playing kind of on their heels, and here it is in overtime. Behind the net. Oh! I don't even know if he saw it coming. Oh, my God. Good pass. He didn't even see it. He didn't even see it. Wow. Yeah. Oh, no worries, brother. Tyler with a $5 helping your boy out. Appreciate that. One dono always leads to another. Just someone has to get it started. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, brother. $5 holla. Thank you. You know, when you do this full time, you don't really know who's going to show up or what kind of support you're going to get. But like I said, I mean, obviously I know doing a playoff game rather than doing like a regular season game, you're typically going to get more eyeballs. And obviously there is wiggle room to kind of break into baseball and hockey. There's not as many people doing those. So, but I am glad that I did the stream tonight, and hopefully we can end up getting an upset. Appreciate you, Tyler. $5 holla. Let me get some Mario Lemieux up here for Sarah. And then if you have a particular favorite player, Tyler, that you want me to throw up, past or present, let me know, and I can do that. Ooh, that's fire. $6. Let's get to a hundo. 94 to go. Ron's in the building. What did it do, Ron? Armando has some money on this game. He said, I need Kraken to win in 5 goals. Ooh, I don't know about that. Yeah, slow start. Well, there was a lot of shots on goal. Grubauer had 16 saves. So, I mean, like I said, it's not like Colorado wasn't trying. Like, honestly, if Grubauer wasn't Grubauer, I mean, it would probably be 3-0 right now, Colorado, or at the very least 2-0. So we will see, but 5 might be too much, but I don't know. Maybe you'll get there. Oh my gosh, that game was awesome, bro. That game was awesome. Man, that Mario Lemieux looks really good on the screen. I mean, since I don't really do a whole lot of hockey stuff, but it looks good.
It's going to be, Leafs against Florida, but you have currently right now the 2 best American-born players in Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk going head-to-head.
Matthews and Tkachuk.
And I'm very excited for this series. I'm not going to get to the one.
Hey, there's plenty of American stars. Matthew Tkachuk, what a series for him.
Oh my gosh, old school is always the best, dude. Old school Mario Lemieux, old school Gretzky, old school Jaromir Jagr.
Stop waiting in line at drive-thrus just to place an order. Use the Domino's app on Apple CarPlay instead.
All right, we're about to get started here in the second period, so I'm just throwing up some photos for the people that have donated. Anything that anyone that donates, I can always throw up anything. So it really, just a matter of who your favorite players are or favorite memories, and I'll see what I can do on my end on the internets and the interwebs. Appreciate you. Tyler, you got a favorite player or someone that you want me to throw up here before we get into the mix? Let me know. Everyone's like, they're doing the betting. They're like, fuck, man, I don't know anything about hockey, but I got to win some money. They're like, I need some beer money. I need some dispensary money, Jonathan says. So I don't know anything about hockey. Combined for 8.5 shots on goal. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we guys got to be able to. I mean, they have 16 shots on goal on Grubauer in the first period, so they might settle down a little bit, but I don't know. Like I said, a lot of these things, it's too tough to tell. I mean, who the hell thought that fucking Florida was going to beat Boston? So I feel right now, if you're betting and you're betting on hockey, basketball, and baseball, you're probably losing money because it's a little bit unorthodox, and a lot of underdogs are doing better than people expected, and teams are getting eliminated. Game 7s. This might be the first day in sports history where we're going to have 3 road Game 7 winners win in the same day. We already had one, right, with the Warriors beating the Kings in 7 in the NBA on the road. Florida beat Boston on the road just about 30 minutes ago to an hour ago, and then maybe Seattle can do it again. Yeah, absolutely. $3 holla. Appreciate you, Jameson. Let me know what you want to see. Same thing with you, Tyler, if you got a favorite hockey player or if you want me to throw up something different. Like, I know you are a Laker fan as well, Titan fan. If you want me to throw something up on that end, I can do that too before we get here going into the second period. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Cactus Jack approves. $3 holla. Thank you. Appreciate you. Well, right now, Seattle's defense is doing fantastic. But, with those guys, obviously, McKinnon is going to get plenty of shots on goal. But I don't know. It's just too tough to say with the two. With the two combined. I mean, like I said, I'm not sure if you're doing like a little prop bet, like with DraftKings or obviously with the different gambling sites and whatnot and stuff. But I feel like, if you want to win money, you have a better chance doing it on NFL betting. If you end up doing baseball, basketball, or hockey playoffs right now, there's a good chance you're going to lose money. Armando says, I need a 4-2 Kraken win. It's 0-0 though. 6 goals. Obviously we've seen people score, 2 goals in 15 to 30 seconds apart. So, anything can happen, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be that high scoring in this matchup. $9. Let's get to a hundo. 91 to go. Mike's in the building. How are you? I saw that NASCAR got rained out and they're doing it tomorrow, correct? So the race will be on tomorrow. So I'll probably try to watch a little bit of that at some point. We did the NFL draft, and hopefully that you are doing okay. I've missed you, brother. How are you? I appreciate you. Well, you can, like I said, if there's anything that you want me to throw up at some point, once we get into like once we go to intermission into the third period, let me know. I can throw up something football related for you if you like to. So let them know, Odin son. It's like we get good results usually with the hockey now, I guess, and Major League Baseball. But I guess it just depends if people want to take it to the next step, if they want to, be able to comment, sub, possibly donate, or, follow on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it may be. We already know how it is on YouTube. And, like I said, it's very hard to be able to, gain subs and keep subs. People are pretty fickle. So. But we do have a good channel here and a great group, and it would always be nice to be able to add on some of the newbies, especially if we can get some newbies on the baseball side and the hockey side. All right, we're in the second period now, and hopefully we can get some more shots on goal for Seattle. 6 ain't going to cut it. But I guess it could. If we end up getting a goal off 1 out of 6, but based on kind of the shot selection, none of them have really been close. At least on the Seattle side, besides maybe one of the first couple, there was like maybe one, out of the 6 that was like, could have been. Colorado's probably had 5 or 6 that easily could have been goals. And we should be probably down 2-0 to 3-0 at this point. But Grubauer has been kicking ass, taking names. And I assume if he wasn't the Avalanche, goaltender that, won the Stanley Cup from last year, then yeah, we're probably not in this position either. Oh, that was close. Yeah, and like I said, if anyone, if you don't want to sub to the channel, you don't want to comment or whatever, at least like the video, because obviously that'll help. It's all about analytics and metrics and the way that things work. So obviously the more comments you have, that's better. But obviously the likes will help. And anything that anyone can do is obviously appreciated. And we do everything here. The people in the room that are regulars will let you know. I feel I have probably the most diverse channel because I really do everything. There's nothing really I won't do. As long as I, feel that it is something worth doing. Good save. Pizzle, what a fucking upset. Incredible. Especially when Boston was, they're going to go all the way. But I don't know, when I was seeing them, I don't know, I was kind of surprised in this one. But I think that even if they would have beat Florida, they probably would have lost in the following round. Yeah, congrats with your Panthers, man. Big upset. Anthony Davis and a D'Angelo Russell. All right, I'll get that up for you once we go to a commercial break. For anyone that donated or once we get to intermission. But if we go to commercial break, I absolutely will throw all those up for you guys. I missed you. I don't know. I've had some ups. I've had some downs. Like I said, mental health is, sometimes an issue for me. I try to, keep positive the best that I can. I've been going on a lot of walks with my puppy and, trying to be outside and enjoy the weather and, but I've been just trying to, like I said, I tried to do the Dodger and Cardinal game yesterday, and I'm a fucking idiot. I, went to the dispensary and then had everything set up and everything, and then I ended up taking a nap, and then my alarm didn't go off, and then by the time I woke up, and boom! Let's go! And just like that, 1-0 Seattle. Boom! Let's go. Unbelievable. That almost took me for surprise. I was like, did that go in? There we go. Fuck yeah, Seattle. Are we going to have 3 Game 7 winners? Let's go. Hell yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Awesome. Unbelievable. Myers kind of like hit it into his own net there. That wasn't even really us. That was like them fucking up and making the goal for us. So at least it looked like on that replay, he was the last one to touch it. I'll take it. Myers helping us out. Thank you. I'll take that. All right, Brandon Tanev. I can't believe that. Get the fuck out of here. Did that just happen? My God. Let's go, baby.
Comes away with the puck and then gives it away to McKinnon. Boards were wide open. They're trying to force something and it was not there. Pick up there by Holden off the skate to the stick.
Unbelievable. 1-0 Kraken. Second period, 15 minutes left. 17 shots on goal. Kraken only 9, but only 3 shots in the second period, but one of them. Obviously, we'll take the assist from Myers, but that was unexpected. I got to get a better photo of him. Here we go. Nice shit, man. 1-0 Seattle. Let's go. Oh, I bet. I know you were waiting. The rain must have been really bad for them to rain it out and have to delay it for obviously people that want to watch it, obviously tomorrow. Hope you're doing good too, man. Dusk is like, it's a goal is a goal. That's true, especially in a Game 7. And that's what I wanted to Seattle to try to get up 1-0, 2-0 to kind of frustrate the crowd. The longer it goes 0-0 or Seattle, even if it has a 1-0 lead and it's just like they keep having shots on goal. Because can you imagine if Colorado gets to 30 shots on goal, right, and they still don't have a goal? They're going to get frustrated, and that plays into Seattle's hands moving forward into the third period. So, but that might be asking a little too much for Colorado to have 13 more shots and they don't have anything. Like chances are, you would think at some point Grubauer will give up something, but I feel good right now. Oh, really? You went to the parade? That's awesome. Matt in the building. How are you? There we go. Dusk Fighter. He's my scoring. He's my hockey guy here. All right. Boom. Let him know. Good guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, if you want, like I said, if you want to end up posting that, I'll put it up here on the screen for every goal. If you want to give the full breakdown, I would appreciate it. And now, as far as that, is that a record? I mean, obviously, regardless if it's an expansion team or whatnot, or just in general, but that's probably not something that typically happens that often. But again, it's not like, they've won every time that they've scored first either. So just because they scored first, yeah, it's great. But obviously they've lost, 3 times scoring first already. So hopefully that's not an omen, but they've also won 3 times. So let's make it 4. 2 more likes to 20. I mean, like I said, the likes matter. Everything matters, man. Obviously with the new algorithm and everything. So appreciate you, man. And see, this is the reason why I wanted to be able to do stuff like this, because then we can meet people like Dusk Fighter that has the knowledge, that wants to go a little bit further and be able to get the full stat line out there. And I appreciate that, because like I said, whatever I do, Mariners, or if I do NHL or NBA, you're always going to have the newbies come through. And I appreciate you, man. So that's the best the team has done in their first playoffs. Yeah, and like I said, it's just crazy. I think that's why, and like as far as like the outsider perspective, do people think this is like a flash in the pan that Seattle's not going to be able to keep this up down the road? Or do people think like Seattle can maybe not be, a playoff team every year, but they should be pretty respectable moving forward based off the roster and how things go? And obviously we know things can change from year to year, but I kind of feel like the overall vibe is like people think that Seattle could be a pretty decent team moving forward. And that's a cool thing for us here in the Pacific Northwest, since we've never had a hockey team out here. So see, and look at Dusk is even throwing out the stats here as well. Appreciate that. So we got Sarah, we got Odins, and we got Dusk for anything hockey related or stats. And there'll be a few other people in here as well. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Mike with a 20. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, this is my first Kraken game ever. So I figured fucking game 7, I was like, okay, do I do the Warriors and Kings? But it was on too early. 12:30, people are still fucking sleeping, and then the Mariners were on at like 10:30. So I didn't want to do it. That was too early, And then there was Sunday night baseball, but I didn't really care about the matchup. But I was like, ooh, Kraken is on. I was like, yes. Because I wanted to record between 6 and 7 p.m. So we could have did just like an NFL draft recap. But if the Kraken is on, I want to make sure that we take advantage of this moment. Especially this could be maybe the last, game of the season. Oh! Woo! Let's go! Boom! 2-0. Oh, my. Let's go. Release the Kraken, baby. Oh, my. Let's go. Are you fucking kidding me? Are we going to have 3 game 7s? Are we going to have 3 game 7s? Oh, baby. Woo, baby. 2-0 Kraken. Oh, my God. Let's go. And then, obviously if Seattle ends up winning this, as Seattle goes on further in the playoffs, of course I'll do more matchups of Seattle. And then even when we get to, the Stanley Cup finals, and if Seattle's not there, which I wouldn't assume they would be, but I will do the Stanley Cup finals. So we'll definitely do, whoever's playing, I'll make sure we do some matchups there. So, but obviously I do a lot of the Mariners matchups, and yeah, I mean, like I said, if it ends up being a Seattle thing where I'm doing the Mariners, sometimes I'll obviously do the Seahawks. And then if we do the Kraken, I think it could be a nice thing for the channel. And plus, you want to be able to, show that you can, do anything. And obviously, there's going to be hockey fans that, I want to be able to reach out to, as well as baseball fans. And there's a little wiggle room with those 2 sports, at least on YouTube. So. Then we'll probably do the Dodger game tomorrow, I assume, unless I decide to do something else, like another watch party for hockey or something. We'll figure it out. And then on my birthday on Tuesday, we'll do the Mariners and the A's because it'll be in that time slot, unless there's another thing that I could do. Like if I don't know what the schedule would be for the Kraken if they win this game, when the next game would be. I would assume Dusk, you would know. So if Seattle wins this, who would they play, and what time would be the first game in the next series be? Would it be Tuesday or Wednesday? Because I guess it just depends on that too. So Mike Morgan with a $20 dono, baby. I appreciate you. He's my NASCAR guy. He's my Alabama Crimson Tide guy. He's the OG to the channel, and we appreciate you. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Cactus Jack. Bang, bang, $20 holla. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. And I thought, you know what? I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I had this weird feeling that, this kind of dream that like if I actually did this, that, maybe Seattle would actually win, even though everyone's saying that Colorado is going to win. And hey, Seattle had a great season. There's nothing to hang your head on, losing game 7. But I was like, fuck that. I woke up, I'm like, fucking Seattle, let's do this. And now it's not over, but 2-0 is a good fucking start. I'll tell you that. When a game could be 3-0, 3-2, or even more, obviously, if you didn't have Grubauer being a fucking beast. 21 shots on goal, 22. Unbelievable. Let me know what you want to see for a photo, and I can end up throwing that up for you at some point during a commercial break or the intermission period. 2-0 Seattle in the second period with about 10 minutes to go. And, for my first, Kraken, YouTube stream, it's gone a lot better than I thought. I mean, I knew that it was going to be tough, but, we ended up having a pretty good turnout, and we're doing well. 11 shots on goal, 2 goals. I'll take it. See, that's a cool thing to be able to feel. Like, it's not like a flash in the pan type of thing. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, did you enjoy the NFL draft? Good save. $29. Let's get to a hundo. Yeah, and that's always a good thing when you can mix in some older veterans, with some of the rookies and some of the young talent that's emerging. That's always a recipe for success. And then once I actually go to a matchup, like once I actually go with my friend Justin, we'll get a hotel, we'll go up there, for a game or two. And then I'll buy a t-shirt, I'll buy a jersey, I'll learn more history. I'll do a shitload of reading. I'll end up, watching a lot more film. And then at some point I'll be, I'm more of a Kraken expert than I am right now. That's for damn sure. But it is something that me and my buddy talked about this year. We were like, we talked about it in the first year, in the expansion year, but we were like, we should probably try to make our way up to Seattle and, and go. And then we can get the bug a little bit about, the Kraken and whatnot. And we just didn't have the money or the time to do it. And we just went to the Mariners and Cardinals for a 2-game set. So 13 block shots for Seattle, 5 for Colorado, 23 shots on goal for Colorado. Grubauer is a beast. I appreciate you, man. Here we go. Dusk already doing all the due diligence. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let them know.
You could save a ton with Progressive by bundling your boat or RV with your home and auto.
Let me be direct. You're doing TV wrong. We thought that other TV provider was good enough. Now what? You'll talk? You call this watching sports, Dan.
Get a good picture of Oliver here.
Somewhat your life is a compromise.
All right, here we go.
But with #1 customer satisfaction, DirecTV never is. Now, get out of here.
Guarantee your low price for 2 years. Call 1-800-DIRECTV to get a $200 reward card. This isn't Sherman.
2-0 Kraken, baby. Let's go.
Charmin Ultra Strong.
I thought it was the same.
With its diamond weave texture, Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better with fewer sheets and less effort. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Hi, I'm Ben Stiller. As an actor, my job is to make people believe what they're seeing is real. That's like really good. Or am I just acting? Taste it for yourself and find out.
All right, let me get some photos up for you guys too. Oh, Mondo's like, I need that money. He says, I don't know when, but they'll play the Dallas Stars. Oh, I appreciate that. Dusk is like, I'm the hockey man. Yes, you are. And we need that. Like I said, because we have Odin and Sarah watch on a regular basis, but a majority, I don't know how many people on the channel watch on a, game-to-game basis, but we appreciate you. Yeah, that's why I want to go. Like I said, I saw the Portland Winterhawks, quite a few times, but that's like equivalent to like a AAA, You've watched since you were 10? Nice. All right, let me see. I know what Jameson wanted a couple photos of Laker players, so I want to make sure we get those out of the way before anything else gets crazy. I'm scrolling back up. Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. Let me get those real quick for you.
If you're too aggressive, it seems like you're running that play up first to open up that lane to try for that one-timer on the other side.
All right, 2-0 Kraken with 8:15 left in the second period. 25 shots on goal. Get the fuck out of here for Colorado. Grubauer, you are a beast. All right, here's Anthony Davis here real quick for you. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jameson for going to the draft. I imagine you had a fantastic time. I'll try to get you a few more once we go to intermission. Appreciate you, brother. So Dusk, who are like what's your background? Like favorite everything, favorite team, favorite player, past and present. Let's get a little bit of a background on you and everything. We usually like try to get to know everyone, and usually, when someone becomes a fanatic family member, and usually we have a really good collection of people, well-rounded too, very smart, very passionate, not a lot of bandwagon fans or trolls. We don't really deal with that. 2-0 Seattle. 7:30 left in the second period. Seattle definitely getting more aggressive here in the second period with the 2 goals. 14 shots on goal. They only had 6 in the first period, and out of the 8 that they've had in the second, they already got 2 goals off of it. One was almost a gimme, though, off Myers. He was the last one to touch it. So, when it goes off your, elbow or wrist or your hand and it bounces into your own goal, I mean, I guess you'll take it. I mean, it's playoff hockey, right? But especially if you lose by a goal, it's like 2-1. That one's going to hurt, especially when you know that you hit it into your own net. He will not be getting any special dinners tonight if they lose. 6:45 left in the second period. 25 shots on goal. Grubauer is something else. Oh, Kyle Busch. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. That's crazy. Blackhawks until the Kraken came along. So now is it the Kraken is your number one? Well, that's cool, man. So I guess every time if I end up doing the Kraken and if you have the time, we'd love to have you, man. It's always good because I know, like I said, for new hockey fans, it might be kind of difficult to, you're not going to be able to educate someone because, you're going to want to be able to watch with people that are watching. But obviously, if anything comes up, obviously during like intermissions, we can always handle some of that. But I think most of the people that will be watching have some idea of hockey. And if not, I mean, like I said, it's all about if you're committed or not, if you want to be able to learn, with certain people too. Ooh, what a save. Georgiev, I see you. All right, so let's get to know Dusk Fighter here, our new NHL guy with Odin and Sarah. Blackhawks until the Kraken came along. Favorite player, Patrick Kane. Nice. And then Sarah and Odin, if you want to give your little background so Dusk knows what you guys represent, so that way you guys can have a kind of a familiar conversation with each other. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't really deal with that. That's true. But it also is nice that I figured out how to do like the thumbs on my own. So it shows you that, like I can do it. And like I said, it's just a matter of if the algorithm works in our favor and if we can end up getting people to watch us on the baseball and the hockey side. And I'm glad that we actually got some results and whatnot. So it kind of gets scary sometimes when you hop into something that you don't do regularly or never have done before. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm still going to enjoy the matchup, but it's always fun when you can meet new people like Dusk, enjoy the game with the regulars, and have some newbies come in. Because I was like, man, it's either going to go really well and we're going to have 20 to 50 people in the room, or it's not going to be good and I'll enjoy myself as much as I can, watching the game, but it might end up being where we have maybe just a few. So I'm glad it ended up working out. So. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the Kit Kat bar? The chocolate?
No, the inside.
The wafers?
Blues fan. I remember I collected hockey cards when I was, young. I was like Pro Set or whatever, and some of the other stuff. I didn't have like a lot of expensive stuff, but there was a few, Brett Holes that I had from when he was on the Blues. But some of the stuff that's like, got mass produced, so that stuff wasn't going to be worth a lot. You had to go a little bit further back, like into like the 80s and whatnot. But yeah, I remember I had a couple Brett Holes on the Blues. 2-0 Seattle. And again, if there's any, photos from anyone that's donated that they want me to pull up, while we have a commercial or intermission, just fire away. So that way I don't have to keep scrolling up under the messages here. But also, too, it's nice because sometimes, we'll do events and you don't have to be into it. Sometimes people don't even watch the event that I'm doing, but they just want to hang out with the people in the room, either with me. Oh, big hit. They either want to hang out here with me or the people that are in the room. And honestly, there's so many YouTube channels out there, millions and millions out there. I really think that our group that we have is one of the better groups on YouTube. I mean, it's very smart people, very passionate. We don't have a lot of idiots or bandwagons or trolls or dumbasses. We don't really put up with it. Of course, if I really wanted to grow, I would just let anybody come in here, right? And then we could just, like a lot of the other channels do, they just have more, have the mods be miserable and have to fucking work the whole time. And I just don't want that. I want to be able to have it to be like a good place where you can feel safe. And, of course, the bigger you get, there are going to be haters and people that are going to come in and whatnot. But, being able to preserve the peace and to be able to have like a good place to go. Cause like I said, sometimes you go to work or school and it fucking sucks. Right. Or you have something that happens to you while you're driving or the people that you live with. And sometimes it's just nice that with all the chaos that's going throughout the day, that you have somewhere that you feel comfortable going where you can talk sports or life or whatever, and we can have a good time here. And I really appreciate that part of the channel. You know what I mean? I don't want my mods to have to be clicking buttons and kicking people out and putting in people in timeout the whole time. I want the mods to be able to enjoy their time here, whether that's, watching the game or just conversating, with the other goats in the room. 3:45 left in the second period. 2-0 Kraken. Release the Kraken, baby. 25 shots on goal for Colorado, 15 for Seattle. Kraken offsides. Maddie got hit in the back there. Tomorrow, Rangers, Devils, Game 7. Oh, man. Odin, your team. Who's going to win tomorrow, Odin? Are you going to win? Are you going to win Game 7 at home? See, and this is cool too, because now I feel Dusk and Odin and Sarah, you guys are going to have a lot in common just based off your guys' hockey knowledge. And that makes my heart happy, because when we can gain people on the channel, when they come through and sub and like, and, possibly donate at one point or another, and, just be a part of something here, it's nice to be able to see. Especially when you have a feeling that someone's going to be a regular. And a lot of times we can tell who the regulars are possibly going to be, or if it's just going to be someone that's going to be here for, just like a one-off thing. And then I like it also too, because then you guys can educate me and make me smart, because like I said, I'm not going to know all the ins and outs, with hockey history, from the past or the present, even though I have a little bit, but I'm not going to call myself a hockey expert by no means. But with like wrestling and football, NFL, college football, baseball, basketball, I feel I'm pretty good there. It's just that I think hockey and soccer, I could use a little bit of work there. Good save. Let's go. I agree, 100%. And that's rare. And like I said, just because we're not like popular doesn't mean that it's not good. You know what I mean? Just because I'm not getting the algorithm and, people are hating doesn't mean that we don't have a good thing going here. Like, I honestly feel if we ended up getting a good, strong push, we could grow as big as anybody. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of hitting the algorithm. And if they want to, put me in that particular position. But, like I said, we have a fantastic group of people. I'm going to make sure I get you guys the best thumbs and the best backgrounds, and I'm going to put in all the hard work. But on top of that, the knowledge, not being biased, and being able to cover everything. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that have channels that only do one thing, just NFL or just their favorite team. You know what I mean? To be able to do wrestling and basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever it may be, WWE, AEW, I feel proud about that. Like, we have really the most diverse channel, I think, on YouTube, as far as having knowledge on what we're doing. I mean, anybody can stream everything, but, that doesn't mean you're smart or anything. That just means you're a streamer. But there's a lot of idiot streamers that are out there. You guys know them. Just because you stream doesn't make you an expert. Facts. You got to do a lot of reading and a lot of film study, and you actually have to fucking watch the games. Watching a fucking 30-second condensed clip on YouTube does not make you a fucking expert. But apparently some people on YouTube and Twitch think that they are, based off that type of method. All right, we got 150 left in the second period. 2-0 Kraken, baby. Oh, we got a penalty. Fuck! Yeah, and that's why I like you. You know what I mean? Because we'll get people that, even if you like, NASCAR and you like Alabama, Crimson Tide and the Saints, and I'm doing something that you're not into, but you just want to be able to hang out with the regulars. Sometimes that's what it's about, and I do appreciate that. And we really enjoy your company. Like, when you're not in the room, I always worry, and I hope that you're okay with your health. And I just hope that you're doing okay. And it's always good to be able to talk with someone who is an expert in something, and you're the NASCAR guy. So like anytime that, I need a question answered or you can give me some info, I love to be able to get that knowledge from someone that's smarter than me in a particular field. And obviously with NASCAR, you're it, Mike. And obviously we got people like Dusk, and Odin and Sarah that are going to, know more about the hockey. But I feel if I dedicate myself to the Kraken and hockey, I feel that it won't take me too long. It's going to take time, but I feel that I'm pretty well spoken. I do put in a lot of work. Obviously name pronunciation is going to be probably one of the most difficult things, but I feel the more that I watch, the more that I'm going to be familiar with everything. And it's going to be more of a regular thing for me on the channel. And I do enjoy, and I'll be completely honest, right? I enjoy hockey, playoff hockey, especially in NASCAR, more than the NBA. So it's like, I know, like, March Madness can be exciting and whatnot. And then you got the NBA playoffs, but just the way the NBA is, it's like, I don't really enjoy it as much as hockey or NASCAR. So I know those are kind of niche things. Not everyone is going to enjoy soccer, NASCAR, fucking hockey or basketball. Most people will do the wrestling and the football thing. But I mean, if I have a choice to do hockey or NASCAR, typically before, obviously they gave up on me on the NASCAR side, obviously not really trying to help me out there. I mean, it's just more enjoyable. It's fast paced. The crowd usually is very into it. Oh, puck out of play. But I just feel the energy overall. I mean, unless it's like a Kings-Warriors matchup, like if it's that, I can watch that. If it's like game 7 of that, I can do that. But not every matchup in the NBA is like, it's almost like torture for me. They don't play defense. The centers are shooting threes. I don't know. It's just not the same type of game that I grew up watching when I was a kid. And when I was younger, the NBA was number one for me. But again, I grew up in the Magic, Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan era, and so even after that with like Iverson and Kobe and Shaq, this league is not the same as it was. And I don't know. I just feel like hockey's more entertaining than NBA. Even if I don't know as much about it, I still feel that it's easier on the eyes and you feel more energy. And I like to know where the energy is in the crowd. That's why wrestling is so big with the energy in the crowd, and sports. The more, fans are going to be yelling and screaming and chanting, the more you get into it, and if the fans are just going to be kind of quiet, I'm not into that. I want to feel that energy. And that's what I get out of playoff hockey. You don't get that really in playoff basketball that much, I feel, unless it's like a really good matchup. All right, we got 30 seconds left in the second period. We got to make sure we hold them here. Fuck! Wow. Grubauer just gave up his first goal. Damn it. But you already knew it was coming at some point. 27 seconds left. Unbelievable. Perfect timing, McKinnon. Oh, my God. What a goal. Oh, that's the best part of hockey, unless you're fucking soft, you're a fucking Karen or a Kyle, and that's the best part. You got to be able to get people, go fist to fist, man. Like I said, when you actually go to a matchup and you see them, like that's what you want to see. You like NASCAR as well? I've liked it since Dale Earnhardt days. And obviously I used to do I did streams last year and we were getting pretty good results, like 1,000 views to like 5,000. And then I did it this year and then they weren't really like pushing it, in the algorithm. And then we were getting like 100 to like 400. So it's like, I have to make sure I'm doing streams that are going to be worth my time. If I'm going to be spending, 3, 4, 5 hours, you want to try to be able to get the most people in the event. But also, you want to be able to have a chance to be able to hit donos as well, since this is my full-time job. I've been doing this for 11 years, and it took me 10 years to go full-time. And this is my 7th year on YouTube. I did, streaming on other platforms. So it's like, no one wants to work for 4 or 5 hours for nothing, especially if you're doing it full-time. So absolutely. McKinnon, what a fucking goal. 10 seconds left. I'll throw a McKinnon photo up here as well. Yeah, we cannot give up another goal here. All right, 2-1. Fucking A, man. For stressful. But you knew it was coming, though. Nathan McKinnon. And, of course, it was him. You already knew it was going to be him. I'm not going to put him on the thumb if I didn't think he was going to score today. Got to make sure we give the due diligence even for the other team and the other players. Nice job, Nathan. He's like, I got to do something. We're running out of time. $29. Let's get to a hundo. I know. It's just not the same anymore, man. I just don't enjoy. I sometimes I try to force myself to enjoy basketball, but it's just so hard to watch. I can't get into it, man. It's like NXT. I'm trying to get into it, but I can't. It's like I can do Raw and SmackDown, but NXT is just too tough for me to watch. It's like I sometimes I'm trying, to watch some of these things, but because I like watching everything. But when my time is precious with like my puppy and everything else I got going on, I don't want to waste time watching something I don't enjoy. And I think everyone can understand that. You want to watch sports that you enjoy or wrestling that you enjoy. All right, we're going into the third period. Obviously, we're at the intermission right now, so I can throw up photos for anyone that wants to see any. Kraken are up 2-1, and they still have a very good chance of pulling off this third Game 7 upset on this Sunday. Absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. Weather is rainy. You're not going to have any crazy storms where your fucking equipment is going to get ruined by a storm there in Hawaii, right? Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to make sure that, your health was good, and I figured you were busy. And I figured if you could, you would have probably tried to come in for the NFL draft. But I imagine you had family stuff and with the kids and grandkids and all that. So, yeah. And like I said, I think it's just so fast paced. It's not slow. So, there's always action going on. The puck is always flying around. There's bodies, getting checked into the fucking, into the glass. Like there's a lot going on. So. All right, here Dusk has got the stats. 32-17. They are physical. That's awesome. Always I'm going to try to do as much as I can to be able to grow in any way that I can. So.
So build a parlay worthy of the playoffs. And when you win, you can get paid instantly.
See if we get another one of McKinnon here. And then anyone that's donated, if you guys want anything on the screen, from your favorite players or whatever it be, it doesn't have to be necessarily hockey related. You can just let me know. If you want to wait till later, that's fine as well. But I'll try to throw up some cool things that I can find here while we're waiting for the third period to start. And then obviously if anyone wants to go over anything MLB related, NBA related, wrestling related, go right ahead. That's a cool one.
Poshmark is the perfect side hustle. It got me through school and the job and getting into my first apartment. There's so much I can sell. Bags, accessories, home decor, and it's so easy to sell on Poshmark. You can do it in a minute. I love it. It's so easy to sell on Poshmark. You just pick out your items.
And don't worry, it's not like I only have the Seattle up here. I still even prepped. All right, there we go. We got to make sure we put the little Avalanche in the corner too for them, right? You want to make sure you're not going to be one of those hater fans. Appreciate the greatness. Appreciate the greatness. But not too much, only a little bit. Mike Fisher. Seriously, it's just wild with the Tampa Bay Lightning and then possibly the Colorado Avalanche, and then Boston maybe this could maybe be a team that goes all the way, can't even get past Florida. So. Yeah, I agree. And I don't like it that nobody plays defense anymore. Everyone's fucking soft, dude. Like everyone flops, everyone's soft. It's just not that, I don't know. Like if you just watch basketball in the 80s and 90s, it was different. And like I said, at one point, the NBA and college hoops was up there for me, like towards the top. But like now it's like almost unwatchable for me. I try to get into it, and some of the matchups I can get into, but like a lot of the matchups, it's like, it's not worth my time. Yeah, like Dame might be the last loyal person, and everyone calls him an idiot for not ring chasing. But it'd mean a lot more, to be able to win one here in Oregon for the Blazers, than him just joining another team and winning it. And then what would people say? You know what I'm saying? Or if he leaves to go to another team like LaMarcus Aldridge did, and he doesn't win, then what are they going to say? Oh, you're an idiot. You left. Like no matter what he does, they're going to criticize him, but he is fucking really loyal. And he's like, not like everyone else. He's not trying to be like a fucking wannabe gangster like John Morant, going from like a private school, type of person and being like a normal kid. And then just being this like wannabe gangster flashing guns on IG. You know what I'm saying? Like Dame is real, and he's a good community guy, a family guy. People love him, and they've loved him at Oakland. They loved him at Weber State, at Ogden, and they love him in Oregon, and that's why he wears 0 or the letter O. So we love Dame. But again, we don't really have the supporting cast for him. So I get it. It's frustrating. Like, unless we get like Wemby, like if we could get the first pick in the draft and get Wemby, the tall, lanky kid, if we could get him, even though it's not likely, he'll probably go to Houston or one of those other teams. But, if he does go to the Blazers by a miracle, that could definitely turn the franchise around a little bit, since we already fucked up with the Jordan Sambui thing. And then obviously we know Greg Oden and Kevin Durant, but Durant wouldn't have stayed with the Blazers after his rookie deal was up. He was a guy that's a snake. He was always going to leave no matter what, just like he left, went the Sonics to the, OKC and then left from there. So.
I know there was bodies in front, but he's already down like this.
Yeah, but especially this year, because like I said, I didn't watch a whole lot of regular season hockey last year, right? And before the playoffs started, I predicted that it would be Colorado over Tampa Bay in 6 games. And I watched no regular season hockey last year, and I was correct, and I helped people win a lot of money. How was I able to come to that conclusion? I can't really tell you. But, like I said, sometimes you kind of have a gauge on what you think. But like this year, for like Major League Baseball and for hockey, it felt different. It just felt a little different. Like, maybe some of the dominant teams weren't as dominant, and maybe like the parity of the game where teams were a little bit closer to each other and there wasn't really those like breakout dominant teams as much. And now that's why you're seeing some of these teams that normally were supposed to go far losing in the first round. That's what makes it exciting, when you can have underdogs actually believe that they can win, and then the talent gap is not as far as it was last year, where it's not automatic. Colorado's running through everyone and Tampa Bay's running through everyone. And then even though Tampa Bay went to 3 straight Stanley Cups, they knew you're not going to be able to win every year. And Colorado was the best team last year. And that's kind of how I felt, that as long as they didn't get hurt, that they were going to win it all. And Tampa was good enough to win a game or two, just kind of like, Warriors. I picked them winning in 6 over Boston. I didn't watch a whole lot of regular season, but a lot of times the winner is going to be in 6 games. A team is good enough to win 1 or 2, but just not win 4. And, not a lot of games go 7 at the very, very end, right? And a lot of them aren't going to be like a 4-0 sweep. And a lot of times if you go 5 games, that other team has to be pretty shitty to only win 1 game. So when you win 2, it's not like you're garbage. It's just that you're not as good enough to be able to stretch that series that extra game. So, but yeah, I totally agree. And then especially this year, I feel baseball and MLB this year, is going to be a little bit crazier. Now, if the NBA wants the best ratings, they probably want, someone between like Phoenix, the Lakers, but probably Warriors, Boston again would be the best thing for the NBA, except Boston winning this time. If you got your ass kicked last year, you lost 4-2, you get back there, the Warriors go a little bit further than people think, unless it ends up being like Boston and Denver. But regardless, Boston should be able to win in 6 against most of the teams in the West, besides maybe Golden State. Exactly. It's like when Giannis brought the ring to the Milwaukee Bucks. No one thought that he'd be able to do that, with that team. And look at his legacy now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hate the ring chasing shit. It sucks, man. It ruins sports. Right. I mean, like I said, because normally the favorites don't get eliminated in the first round. It's one thing if you go a couple rounds and you get eliminated and you're like, oh, this was a Stanley Cup championship contender. And then you just find out that they were a pretender. Or is it not that they're a pretender, but just the underdog is just really good this year? The underdog got hot and they got healthy. Maybe the favored team had some injuries. Maybe they just, were kind of reeling at the end of the regular season. Uncle Mo, that momentum is a big deal. And if you can be hot and healthy at the right time, sometimes that's why in the NFL, we'll see a wild card team go all the way to the Super Bowl and even sometimes win, because you just got to get hot and healthy at the right time. But I totally agree. I feel that this playoffs has been a little bit more crazier than normal. Oh, yeah. Well, you got to understand, they don't win championships without Draymond. He's the enforcer. He's like the Dennis Rodman of that team. And then obviously, with Steph and Clay being one of the best duos, in the backcourt in the NBA of all time. And then Steph being arguably one of the best point guards of all time and best shooters of all time. So, that'll be part of that too. So.
firmly, and it continuously
Odin says Boston deserves NBA and nothing else.
for 45 days.
6 more likes to 30. Appreciate that. And like I said, anything that anyone can do to help me, whether it's, liking the post on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or the YouTube community page, sharing this on Twitter, liking it, any little thing to help us get a little bit more eyeballs on the channel will definitely help. So we're just waiting for the third period to start. And it's been pretty amazing so far. 2-1 Kraken. Release the Kraken, baby. Grubauer, 28 shots on goal. He's only given up 1 goal, but 27 saves compared to Georgiev, 17. And he has obviously given up 2. So I'll take that ratio. Come on, baby. Bjorkstrand. Mikko Rantanen. I'll get one of Mikko up there.
Celebrate the mom in your life. Choose from our collection of gift sets starting at $99.
Oh, no. Burger King. No, no, no. Fuck, these BK commercials are getting fucking out of hand. Like, how many variations of this fucking song do I have to hear? Like, I've got like 8 different fucking commercials that they've done so far. It's like every goddamn network. I'm not going to Burger King. Fuck. So I get it if they want to do it like, once or twice, but it's like this Burger King fucking melody is never going to go away. You think the Bruins were frauds? But they were great all year, though. So is it really the Bruins were frauds, or does Florida played better and actually believed that they could get it done? It also depends on how good you are on the road. And then if you're a good road playoff team, because like I said, a lot of teams are not very good on the road, let alone being on the road in the playoffs in an elimination game too. Crunchy says, "Hey, Boston deserves nothing." $29. Let's get to a hundo. 71 to go. Yeah, we do need Maddie to get a goal. Absolutely. Yes, I totally agree.
Obviously, when we have success, we're putting pucks deep, working it hard, battling, getting pucks in net. So, we need more of that. It hasn't been enough throughout the 2 periods, but that's what makes us successful.
It is crazy though. Like I haven't, I don't eat fast food too much, here and there. And then obviously, like McDonald's has nuggets and whatnot. But I was like, dude, I want to go to Wendy's. I haven't been to Wendy's in a long fucking time. I didn't know if they had 4, 6, or 10. Like I'm not asking these questions and shit there. Like I'm in the drive-through to decide, what I want to get and whatnot. I already know they got the fire lemonade in there, right? And they got the double stacks and everything. But I got the fresh. Like I had to wait. Right? They made me wait. But I got like the fresh nuggets that haven't been sitting under a heat lamp. Those were like the best nuggets I've had in like probably a year or two. Like I was pretty shocked like how good they were. And obviously anything under a heat lamp is going to taste like shit. But when you get them fresh, the Wendy's nuggets compared to the McDonald's ones, it's like you're eating trash and you're eating like something actually that tastes good. That's true. That's true. So McDonald's cuts the nuggets in half. Yeah, Mike is the man.
That's my recipe.
Yeah. And like I said, I guess with the fries, maybe Wendy's fries could be a little bit better and stuff. But I mean, you get a fresh double stack or, whatever, sandwich. But I was just impressed. And I think the sauces, obviously, on the Wendy's side taste better too. The sweet and sour, honey mustard, the barbecue, But I was really impressed because, like I said, I don't eat it that often. But I was like, wow. I was like, I almost wanted to turn around and go get more. I was like, wow, these are good. Like really crunchy, hot. And, and they just had really good flavor to them. It's like, I think Wendy's nuggets are so good, you don't even have to dip them. And that's rare because I'm a condiment guy. I always want to, barbecue, sweet and sour, honey mustard. Like I got to. And Yeah, I was impressed. I don't think I'll go back anytime really soon, but if I do get a craving, I'm definitely not going to McDonald's for nuggets. I'll tell you that. All right, it's the end of the second period, 2-1 Kraken. What will happen here in the third period? We get a photo up of Rantanen. On the power play, too. Got to make sure we do our due diligence here. What do you give your Devils a chance of winning, Odin, tomorrow? You're at home, and obviously home teams haven't really fared that well in Game 7 so far. And I'll even throw up the Colorado here. There we go. You got to make it all even there for the photos.
Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by proactively reviewing your entire portfolio with an eye on taxes and risk. Doors
Yeah.
were meant to be opened.
But also Florida played better than anticipated too, right? Because I don't think anyone thought that they were going to take that 7 either, like Seattle with the Kraken. I don't think anyone saw like, well, Kraken's going to go 7 with Colorado. And yeah, we already know that, Florida is going to go all the way with Boston to 7. I don't think that was really thought of until we saw the first couple games, and then it looked like maybe a possibility. 100%. Yeah, like that. When's the last time you had Wendy's though? You just got to have a side by side. You got to do like the McDonald's first. And also if the McDonald's ones are fresh, they do taste better. But when you get them that they're old and hard and they don't taste as well, and I don't know, I think the sauces too, Yeah. I'm on top of it, baby. Yes. All right. Come on, baby. Before the game started, this was me. And hopefully after the game is over, this will be me. Let's go. All right, let's go. Third period, 2-1 Kraken. Release the Kraken. Can we be the third team on a Sunday to go 7 games? Let's go. You got to do it, man. I bet you're fucking nervous too. And they probably didn't think that Devils series was going to go 7 either, right? Crazy year this year for NHL. Well, if you're going to eat steak, it's got to be medium rare. Anyone that eats it like well done, right? You have to go and just like take a step back and do it medium rare. You're not a fucking caveman if there's a little bit of blood in it and whatnot. And it actually tastes much better than it being well done. And on anyone that uses ketchup on steak, that is a fucking crime. Even like A1 and barbecue sauce, if a steak is done good enough, you don't even need to have any sauce. Like you can just be able to eat it. And again, you can eat a well-done steak and it'll taste good. But if you end up having a one that's done the correct way, like medium rare, and then, you got the green beans, the mashed potatoes, you got the whole mix there, then you can have a meal. But I know some people that are afraid of the blood and they're like, I want it well done. But trust me, it's not like you're going to fucking get sick and die if you eat it medium rare. And the flavors, and it's not the blood flavor that you just necessarily are eating. $28 shots on goal for Colorado, 17 for Seattle, 18:50 to go in the third period. Let's go, Seattle. Let's go, Kraken. You are 100% correct. Dusk is on it. Got to play defense. McDank fries. That lemonade, though, is undefeated, bro. I don't care if you're stoned or drunk or sober. That fucking lemonade options at Wendy's is, it's like, of course, like they got like Red Robin style and stuff too. But obviously, if that fucking place isn't open and you just want to have something to drink, that's something I fucking should have got today. It's like one of Wendy's top, 3 items on the fucking menu is their lemonade, and I didn't even get one. Come on, Kraken. Yogiev. with the save. Of course. Well, you're up 2-1. You don't want to just play soft and just, kind of be playing defense all the time. You have to be aggressive. If you want to win this game 7, I mean, we got to be able to get these shots on goal, and you got to be able to get quite a few of them. It's 29-17. I would like to see Seattle in this get to about 25, or 22-25. I need about 5 to 8 good opportunities. I hope that we get that, but definitely over 20 at the very least. And I feel that if we can get, 5 good shots on goal, we're going to have a good shot to go up 3-1, or if they score, maybe we can win 3-2. But it didn't feel like a 4 or 5 goal matchup to me. Like, it didn't feel like, it was going to be like a 5-4, oh! And just like that, Grubauer gives up another. This is what happens when you're in game 7s. Fuck! This is going to be good, this one, but you never know. Goals can come rapidly, and you never know what's going to happen. We're tied up at 2. Oh, man, this is going to make me nervous. Just because you score first doesn't mean you're going to win. They have to stay aggressive. Otherwise, the Kraken will lose. We have to get plenty of shots on goal here in the third period. Yeah, agreed. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, they were trying to see if he was offsides. Wow. Oh my God, are they going to take this back? Dusk, are they going to take this back? Oh! Yes! Let's go! Offsides, take that. Woo! Oh, baby. We lucked out that time. Woo! Oh, that could be the difference. We'll have to see how they react to that. Obviously, getting a goal taken off the board there. I mean, these people are going to lose their goddamn minds. Hopefully, we'll see if the Colorado can stay under their composure. Because if not, this one might get out of hand, and Seattle might be able to take advantage here. Emotions are on a high. No goal. Let's go. Unbelievable. Oh, my God. Got my heart racing, dude. 2-1 Seattle. 17:25 left in the third period. 31 shots on goal, 19 for Seattle. I need to see that number as close to 23 to 25 as possible. We got plenty of time, but I think 23 to 25 might be the magic number. We just have to make sure we have good opportunities. Again, they could end up having only 1 or 2, but if you end up getting a goal out of one of them, that could be enough. But uh-oh. Yep. It's like a touchdown that gets called back. Your heart gets ripped out. You just went from on an all-time high, tying it, and then the momentum going where you think, okay, we're going to take this. This is our game now. And then to be able to have that called back with an offsides, I mean, that's just like a touchdown, like a pick six being called back, or a punt return or a kick return, where you can just feel the game shifting and changing. Because obviously 2-2, like if I had to put money on it, if that would have stayed, Colorado probably would have scored the next goal, and then they would have went up 3-2 just based off momentum and like history. Usually that excitement from getting that goal, and you can kind of tell the momentum is in their favor, even though they're down 2-1. If it would have been 2-2, then they would have been able to probably go up 3-2. But now Seattle's still in control. We got to have to play good defense here with Grubauer, and then we have to be aggressive. We can't be passive. If you're passive, they're going to, tie it, go to overtime, and they're going to lose. So they have to be able to stay aggressive here. Yeah, 100%. All right, Seattle would play Dallas. And we got, Vegas, Edmonton, Florida, and Toronto, and the Carolina versus the Rangers or the Devils. Who's winning tomorrow? Rangers or Devils? That's Odin's team. So hopefully the Devils for him. Remember at the beginning of the year, you were like, this Devils fucking suck this year. They must have turned it around because they're in the playoffs. But I remember there was at one point where you were like, man, I don't know what the hell's going on with New Jersey. At least they got the 20 shots on goal. They're still 9 behind. And that's obviously got to be good for Grubauer, as far as confidence that he didn't give up that second goal. Get back. There we go. Yeah, playoff hockey is 1,000 times better than NBA playoffs. It just is. I don't, you know what I mean? Unless there's a specific player that you're watching, like Steph Curry, I get it. If it's like Curry's on, or if you're like a LeBron guy, then I get it. But I feel that with hockey, you can watch any hockey matchup, know nothing about hockey, know none of the players. But if you actually watch with a group of people, you'll enjoy it more than a lot of the NBA games, unless you have a favorite NBA player or team. It's just the style of play. It's intense. It's hard hitting. It's fast. It's exciting. You know what I mean? Like, it keeps you on your toes. I feel like with the NBA, it goes through moments where you're just kind of like waiting for something to happen. You know what I mean? A lot of sloppy basketball, no defense, people flopping. Like, on the NHL side, most of the time, when we have like all-star events, normally we know Major League Baseball has the best all-star festivities, and then NHL is second. NBA and the Pro Bowl are garbage. They shouldn't even have them, because they don't try. It's just like they don't like put on an event to make it like actually an event. It's like an exhibition. Nobody wants to watch an exhibition. I know a lot of people would enjoy the NBA All-Star game if they actually took pride and played in it like in a regular game. That's another problem with the NBA. They're lazy. The product is not what it used to be in the 80s and 90s, and they wonder why their ratings are down. It's not as enjoyable. There's not as many superstars either. And the superstars that they do have aren't as good as the ones that they had in the 80s and 90s. But people that are younger assume that this younger generation superstars are better than the ones in the 80s and 90s. And you can definitely tell who watched basketball back then and who didn't. Well, we got offsides on the Avalanche. Yeah, 100%. Totally agreed. True. No loyalty. You know what I mean? I like energy and I like passion. You know what I mean? So that's why I love wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan, since 1985. And I love, the energy in the crowd. And when we had COVID, right, wrestling sucked on the WWE side, not only because Vince was booking horribly, right, but also there's no fans. And it shows you, like, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling, they need fans to be able to take it to that next level. Without the fans, it's not the same experience. You need to be able to feel the emotion, the hairs stand up on your neck and your arms, and to hear the energy of the crowd chanting and whatnot. Oh, and speaking of wrestling, Seth Rollins, they were in France, and they were 10 minutes for Seth Rollins. Well deserved. But I think he was going one-on-one with The Miz, and I saw a highlight. When you're really over in wrestling, just like in different sports, when you have your superstars, when something like that happens. I did not see any of the event, but I heard it went well, and the fans over there love Seth, just like I do as well. All right, we're at 14:20 left in the third period. Kraken up 2-1, 29-21 shots on goal. Colorado has 8 more, and they've been the more aggressive team, but Seattle, I feel, has been better defensively today. Say donate on the frozen biscuits, baby. 99 cents, $1 holla. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. I appreciate you. Let me know what you want to see during a commercial break, and I'll get you a photo of, you want me to do some Brett Hull? We can do some St. Louis Blues Brett Hull if you want. We could do that. Yeah, load management is they're lazy. They don't play. Dude, there was guys that had like broken fucking noses, their fucking neck brace and shit, and like in the 80s and 90s, they still play. And that's another part of it too. There's no loyalty. It's all about the money. It's all about trying to go to a super team. Nobody plays defense. I don't know. There's just like a number of things that I have a problem with on the NBA side. Wow, it hit the bar. $30. Let's get to Hondo. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, Wayne Gretzky. Bjork was trying to go for 3. Oh, it went off the mask. Damn. Oh, it went off the mask in the bar on the replay. Oh, Bjork. Oliver. All right, let's get some Wayne Gretzky on here.
You call this watching sports, Dan? So much in life is a compromise.
Come on, baby.
But with number one customer satisfaction.
All right, let's get some Wayne Gretzky up here for Sarah. All right, what Wayne Gretzky do you want? Are we talking like Edmonton? Are we talking about like, the Kings? How far back do you want me to go? Let me know what you want for Gretzky. I mean, I got multiple options for Wayne, but you let me know. Oh, I got some special ones too. Oh, I got all kinds of good stuff here. I mean, the Wayne Gretzky rookie card obviously is still one of the most iconic, hockey cards of all time, and not only hockey, but just in general.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Oh my God, the Edmonton stuff though is like, I mean, I'm a fan of history, in sports. So anything that's like 80s and 90s, that's like obviously my favorite era. I was born in 82, so I started watching wrestling and sports in 85. I'm 40 now. So, it started early for me, about 3 years old. And I'm glad I got a chance to watch a little bit, in every era. Off the fucking mask and bar. Unbelievable. Love the history. What a game. What a game. It's all good, Matt. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be, something football related. Like I said, you don't even have to be watching this hockey matchup. It whatever it may be. Oh, Grubauer with the fucking save. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, imagine if Kawhi was able to stay in Toronto. Maybe they would have been able to make another finals appearance, but obviously he's not the same player as he was when he was in Toronto. The injuries have kind of caught up to him a little bit. Yeah, Gretzky is Gretzky, absolutely. Any type of Gretzky's amazing to see. Yeah, Martin Brodeur. And the only reason I'm so familiar with a lot of hockey names is because I played video games and I always bought the NHL series, NHL 94, NHL 95, NHL, 2000. So it went from me playing it on the Sega and then Sega Genesis. And then obviously, I played it on the Nintendo, doing the NHL games, Blades of Steel, right? And the ice hockey game where you had the skinny, medium, or the fat hockey guy, and you would have the little guys that you could select. Still a fun game. So there's all kinds of hockey games that I played from back in the day. But then obviously when they did the NHL series from EA Sports, it's in the game. And then you do those. That's when you can go through and lots of hockey was played on the PlayStation 1, 2, but a lot of Sega Genesis. NHL 94, 95 was a big memory for me. Like sometimes I'd actually just want to like plug in the Sega and play like the old games on an old TV. Piece of my childhood. And some of the games actually still hold up to this day. I mean, it's not going to be graphic wise, but sometimes gameplay wise, some stuff on like 64, Sega, Super Nintendo, it still holds up to this day, man. All right, we got 12:30 left in the third period. Kraken up 2-1. They've caught up on shots on goal. It's 30-22, but still they need to have a great defensive period here and need to stay aggressive, since Colorado had a goal taken away for being offsides, which could have been 2-2. Ooh, that's a good question. Odin's son probably would have a good answer for you, or Sarah as well. Oh, no worries. Yeah, this is on TNT, Root Sports, if you live in Oregon or Washington, since that's the local Kraken and Mariner channel. And then obviously if people are doing links, then there might be a little bit of a delay. Fewest games to 100 career playoff points. Gretzky, 46. Lemieux, 50. Unbelievable. Like I said, I don't think people, like I said, in the 80s and 90s, there was better superstars in every sport. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey, tennis, golf. You know what I mean? Like even the Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, like people forget like how many great talented people that we had in the 80s and 90s. Tiger Woods in his prime. It's like you can go through any fucking sport, and I would match any athletes that we had in the 80s and 90s to anything we have now. And like I said, there's a reason why there's more top 50 players in the world in every sport in those 2 decades than any other, set of decades in life, period. There's just better talent. And even the movies were better. Like everything was just better in the 80s and 90s. I don't know why in that 20-year period, everything was just better, but it just was. You have more legends, and like even wrestling. I mean, like in the 80s and 90s, with Hulkamaniacs and then going with NWO and DX, nothing will ever be like that ever again. And like I said, the sport, obviously has changed, and we still love, our playoff hockey or playoff, football, whatever it may be, wrestling. But you just kind of know it's not the same. I mean, I know we got like, Alexander Ovechkin, you got Sidney Crosby, but it's not Wayne Gretzky and it's not Mario Lemieux, even as great as those two guys are. Those are like the modern day, superstars for quite some time. But obviously we have some new guys that have kind of taken their spots now as far as popularity and obviously greatness. 31 shots on goal for Colorado, 23 for Seattle. Still Seattle playing aggressive. Oh, I love Blades of Steel. I still own it too. Blades of Steel. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, keep me updated on any information, man. Anything sport or wrestling related, regardless of what sport it is. And, obviously I do a lot of reading and film study. I mean, when I'm not streaming, I'm usually reading. So it usually consists of about 4 to 6 hours of my day to keep up with everything. It's a lot of commitment, but when you love it, it's a part of your life. 9:40 to go. Boxing athletes as well. Yep, absolutely. Lundqvist, yeah. Eric Lindros. But what about superstar players, right? I'm talking about not, average players, you might be correct, but I'm talking like superstar players. Like, I'm not really sure if you got a lot of guys that are on the Jaromir Jagr level, if you're on the, even if you go back even, to the, the Sakic and the Patrick Waugh, and you go back into that generation. But if you go back even further, when like Mario Lemieux and Gretzky were in their prime, I don't think anyone can really touch them now that's playing that was as good as those two in their prime in the 80s and 90s. It's like Jordan, playing when Jordan was in his prime. You got Jordan and Kobe, but then everyone that sees LeBron thinks he's like the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread. But he's nowhere near a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like, if he was as good as he is, like if he was as good as people think he is, he'd have more titles than what he has right now. And obviously he knows how to make his teammates better, but he's just not clutch. He doesn't have the Mamba mentality. I mean, if you go to fucking like 10 NBA finals and you only have like 3 or 4 wins, compared to going 6 times and winning all 6, there's a difference, And honestly, if Jordan's dad didn't get fucking murdered and he went to baseball and had to come back, there's a chance the Bulls would have won 8 in a row. So, and then obviously I think Kobe is, even though I was a Blazer fan, still am, I still put Kobe ahead of LeBron. Like, if you want to argue LeBron is the most well-rounded player we've ever seen, I'll give you that. But when it comes down to the end of the game, if I had to choose, someone to make that last bucket or make that proper pass, I definitely would be going with Kobe and Jordan over LeBron. But again, a lot of people that say LeBron are, 20 years old, 15, 12, they're not the people that are like old enough to have watched both to make a proper evaluation. So it's like, if you've only seen what you've seen, you're going to be like, oh, this is the greatest. But if you actually go back and you watch like Lemieux and Gretzky in the prime compared to like Ovechkin and Crosby, you'd be like, oh my God, like what did I miss? Like, and those guys are great, but I think there's just a little bit of a generational gap on, elite and like the best that have ever played the game. So Tyson, yeah. Mike Tyson Punch-Out, another great game on Nintendo. That one never gets out of style. You could play that, and literally that never gets boring. You can play that with friends, and even though just with the AB button, very difficult to beat. Great game to play. Still holds up to this day, too. Oh, you're throwing up the names. You're throwing up the names. What about in the 80s or 90s? I mean, it just depends. I mean, the game is going to be different back then, but I think like if you go back in the 80s and 90s, and I mean, we're going back like Gordie Howe, we're going like way, way, way back. I mean, every generation will be different. It's just like when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and like Wilt Chamberlain were playing and he got 100 points in a game, supposedly, you know what I mean? And getting 50 rebounds a game. But if you're playing against a bunch of guys that are like 5 foot and you're 7 foot, there's a little bit of a difference there. But obviously, we all know that if Wilt played in the 80s or 90s, he still would have been dominant, but maybe not as dominant as he was playing against shorter guys. If you're going against Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Shaq, David Robinson, it probably wouldn't be as easy for Wilt, even though it was easy for him back then. All right, Seattle 2, Colorado 1. 32 shots on goal for the Avalanche, 23 for Seattle. I thought the magic number for Seattle would be 23 to 25. They got 2 to go with 8 minutes. And hopefully they can hang on here. Shots in the period, 6 for Colorado, 5 for Seattle. And Seattle only had 6 shots on goal in the first period, so pretty impressed here. 3 more than they'll average 10 and 10, and that's what that girl that was in the stream earlier had the bet on. It was 26. So it was 6, and then they needed 10 and 10 to hit the number. So she needs 3 more, and I don't know if she'll get it. There's a chance. Oh, fucking what a save! Damn, I thought that was gonna be a goal there. Yes. Yeah, Jaromir Jagr. I mean, Chris Chelios. You just go back into the different eras. Yezeman. Those classic Detroit Red Wings teams from back in the day. Jeremy Remnick, Brett Hull. Nice block by Larson. Seattle's staying aggressive. Yeah, well, obviously hockey back in like the 70s and obviously NFL back in the 70s and was different. You had guys actually clotheslining people like, NFL blitz style. Go back and watch like Pittsburgh Steeler fucking highlights from back in that time. I mean, this shit was as dirty as it gets. I mean, fucking like, low blowing guys down in the dog pile, fucking leg drops, clotheslines. I mean, as dirty as it fucking would get back then. Ooh. You think Lemieux was? Yeah, Lemieux was fantastic, man. Like I said, he was always going to be in the shadow of Gretzky, but I feel people really do respect Mario, with everything that he did in his career. And yeah, you know, like I said, it's kind of hard to say as elite as Gretzky was, but like I said, if there was always a number 2, it was Mario Lemieux, and he held his own. You know what I mean? I don't think he felt necessarily he was that far back from Gretzky either. I got a couple donos in here because I'm an idiot and I haven't checked it. Mike with an $8.88 dono. Thank you, bro. Oh, shit. Save it. Save it. $8.88. Appreciate you, brother. Come on, Seattle. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And that was from a while ago. He donated that. When did he donate that? Like an hour and a half ago? God, I'm an idiot. And then he did another dono. $19.86, my boy. I should probably check my stuff more often, huh? That's what happens when you're watching the playoff hockey. You get fucking distracted. $19.86. Another dono from Mike. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this fucking third period. O-Dog is a dumb dog when he doesn't look at the donos. This fucking game has got me on the heels, though. I appreciate you so much, Mike. We haven't seen you in a little bit. Thank you so much for representing your boy, the Outlaw. Seattle 2, Colorado 1, release the Kraken, baby. We're at 25. That was my magic number. I didn't know if they were going to get there. And now anything above this is a bonus. They've caught up to the shots on goal. They're almost there. But it's all about quality now here in this last 4 minutes and being able to play some great defense with Grubauer. We got to hang on, but we don't want to be passive. We have to be aggressive. Because if you just sit back and just wait for them to be able to make a shot on goal, it's going to be tied. We'll go into overtime and we'll lose 3-2. So they have to keep the pressure on. Because the same thing that happened with that Florida game with Boston could happen here. 1 minute left. Colorado scores. The crowd goes crazy. They go to OT. They get the cheap goal in OT, and then the Kraken season's over. We could see something like that happening if they don't stay aggressive. Gorgiev off his head. Yes, agreed. 59. We need, 41 to go? And then hopefully out of the people that have come through, hopefully we'll get a few subs, to add to the group. Looks like we've gotten a few on here. I think we got 6 people. So it was kind of crazy too, because when I ended up doing some baseball, we ended up getting a good wave of maybe like 15 or 20 subs. But again, people are so fickle with their subs on YouTube. Like if I get a new sub, from someone, it doesn't mean that they're going to be there a day later or a week later and whatnot. So, it'd be nice to have people that will sub, that will stick around. But I appreciate everyone that has sub, that came through, that has donated. And it's always nice to meet newbies that I feel will be a part of this channel. And I feel now, like, as long as I end up doing Kraken games, Dusk will be in here if he has time. And then on top of that, we'll have some other people that are going to want, betting advice, or that they just want to watch hockey with a group. And yeah, I appreciate it. You never know who you're going to end up meeting, with the group. And I always can tell who's going to be like a part of the channel, typically long-term, or you have a good feeling about it. So, but I am glad that I ended up doing this particular matchup, because again, it was between the Mariner game this morning, where Big Dumper Cal Raleigh hit 2 homers against the Blue Jays, but it was on at like 10:30. I was like, nope, too early. Then they had the Warriors and Kings on, and that was at like 12:30. And I was like, I want to record later. And this was really the only event that was late that I could do. And obviously it's the Kraken, so I'm going to do it. It is, right? And obviously, even though I'm not like a hockey expert, I feel that I know enough where we're going to be able to have a fun stream, and I'm not a complete fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some people that are trying to like, reach or act like they know what, I'm going to be completely, transparent and genuine. There's going to be a lot of things I feel I'm an expert on, with like AEW, WWE, anything wrestling related, anything football related, anything basketball related, baseball related. But of course, when it comes to hockey and soccer, I need a little help, obviously with, other superstars and everything that's going on. But I feel that I know enough, to make the stream fun, enjoyable, exciting. And we got a great group. That's facts. Release the Kraken, baby. Let's go. Let's do it, Dusk. We got this. Yeah, I mean, it's always hating. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I gain some subs, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know what it is, but eventually, hopefully that, they'll stop hating and then we can actually grow. That would be nice. Oh, what a save. What a save. Go. Oh, that could have been an opportunity there. What a gutsy save. The Jeff. God damn you. Oh, go, Jeff. He went out there almost like quarter ice. He's like, fuck it, I'm diving for this save. And good thing they had some defenders there to, block the open net. Unbelievable. Let's go. 2:50 to go. Let's go, Kraken. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Good save. Goal give. Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know. I'm used to people hating, that's been a part of my life. It's always been harder for me than I feel that in other channels. Every channel has a different journey and a different dream, but I feel like and other channels haven't been hated on like me, and especially when I'm doing so many different types of events, to show my versatility and whatnot. It would just be nice that if they could actually have my back for once instead of holding me back. I mean, hell, if the more people I get and the more, opportunities I get, that means that they make more money also. Apparently, maybe they don't understand that concept, but I got to keep the faith and I'm going to keep grinding. I mean, again, I've been doing this for fucking 11 years. So not a lot of people would have a dedication to do anything for 11 years. I think we're at like 1,600 or 1,700 live streams or uploads since 2017. So your boy keeps busy. All right, here we go. 2:34 left in the third period. Let's go, Kraken. Obviously, the MVP today, obviously, you already know who it is. It's Grubauer, baby. He has been electric. Let's go. It also makes it exciting when it's a Game 7. Game 7, anything. Major League Baseball, NHL playoffs, or NBA is, Oh! Oh, my God, off the post. Oh. How many times has it hit the post? 3 times tonight? Off the head, off the post, off the head, off the post, and then this one is just off the post. Oh, this is a great opportunity right here. Look. Oh, so close. Fucking A. But it feels like Seattle's going to win, doesn't it? Like, even from the very beginning. Like, sometimes you just have the, again, we could have the same thing happen in that Florida matchup at Boston where Florida scores with 1 minute left. They take the momentum. They go into overtime. Then they win. And sometimes when that person scores that last goal, they're the ones that score the next one off that momentum in overtime. But I don't know. It just feels like as long as Grubauer does Grubauer things, that this could be a Seattle victory. Release the Kraken, baby. Let's go. My boy, Odin's son. Yeah. Unless it's your team that has it, you're doing it over and over and over. Oh, my gosh. Could be 4-1. Well, again, you could also say, hey, it could be 2-2. Or if Grubauer did shitty in that first period, they could have had 3 goals in that first period. Easy. Maybe 2 at the minimum. But, some of those shots were like right there. And I can't even believe, how many face-off? 30-23. Colorado's been winning the shots on goal 34-27, and the face-offs won 30-23. But Seattle has been able to get better shot selection when it counted in that second period. All right, we got a minute 52 left. Come on, Seattle. Come on, Kraken. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Empty net. Now they're getting desperation mode with the empty net. Come on, Kraken. Keep battling. Keep your head on a swivel, Grubauer. Oh, it's getting really physical here. Rantanen. Come on, defense, Seattle. Defense, Seattle. Come on, Kraken. They're trying to find that right hole and that right opportunity. Good defense. Less than a minute to go. Come on, hang on. Let's not be Boston. Let's be Florida. Come on. Oh, God. Oh, God. He missed it. He missed it. Come on. Empty net. Icing. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Let's go. What a game 7. Sucker. Let's go. MVP right here. My goodness. I think a lot of people, are going to be Kraken fans across the country. Of course, people in Oregon, that I live here in Oregon, and people in Washington and Seattle are going to embrace them like the Seahawks and the Mariners, right? Until they get the Sonics back. But I feel that they're just a likable team. They got likable players, likable coach. You got likable, jersey combinations. The colors look nice. They're not ugly. They don't have ugly uniforms. They don't have an ugly logo. I don't know. There's not really anything that I think that outsiders can really say. And I think people respect what the Kraken have done. It's not like they come off as like a cocky team that's trying to injure everyone. They're new, you know what I mean? And no one expected them to have success after the first year of the expansion. And then now you're seeing, a game 7, it's pretty phenomenal, but they played fantastic all year. Now it's just the rest of the United States is warming up to the idea that maybe this isn't a flash in the pan, and maybe the Kraken can be a legitimate, decent team moving forward. Not playoffs every year, but at least being respectable. And they're taking the champs from last year all the way to their limits. And we got to make sure McKinnon doesn't get a nice slap shot here for a goal. Win this face-off. 42 seconds left. Yes. Being a good road team in the regular season is one thing, but being a fantastic team on the road in the playoffs, it is rare. It is rare. Like the Kraken when they won game 1, that's when we kind of knew that, wow, maybe Seattle can hang, right? When they won 3-1 on the road, who fucking thought that was going to happen? Let's be honest. 30 seconds left. Come on, Seattle. Let's go. Let's go. 24 seconds left. Come on, defense. And I pick up on things pretty quick, so it doesn't take me too long. Go, go, go. Come on. 10 seconds. Come on. We're going to win this. We're going to win this. We're going to win this. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. Final. Kraken 2, Colorado 1. First expansion team to win a first playoff series against defending champions. We'll face Dallas in round 2. We had 3 road game 7 winners today. That might be a record. All right. You had who? The Warriors beat the Kings in the NBA. Yeah. What else did we have? We had Florida beat Boston. And then we have Seattle beating Colorado. Let's go. Kraken advance, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Unbelievable. Fuck yeah. It felt like a Kraken victory today, though. It felt different. But the MVP, we already know what it is. Unbelievable to see this type of success. Let's go. All right. MVP right here. Because like I said, there could have easily been 3 goals scored or 2 in that first period. And then obviously Colorado had the goal taken away from that offsides. That would have changed the overall momentum of the game. But to be able to go 7 games, unbelievable. And on top of that, not having one of their star players being able to play due to that injury, pretty impressed. Wow, game 7. And like I said, that's why with this NHL playoffs, I feel like you're going to have a lot of underdogs and you're going to have a lot of things happen that normally don't happen. I mean, Tampa Bay Lightning is eliminated. Colorado Avalanche is eliminated. Those are the Stanley Cup, teams that played each other last year. Boston was supposed to be the new Colorado. They lost in game 7. What an exciting time. What an exciting time. Release the Kraken, baby. So now we got me and Megan and Dusk, and I imagine we'll have more that'll follow the journey of the Kraken as well. Fucking A, let's go. Amazing. I don't even know what to say right now. Pretty sweet, man. And like I said, to just be early in the existence, it's one thing if the Kraken have been around for a while and they do this, would have been great. But just to be like the brand new guy on the block and to be able to beat the champs from last year. But also I think that a lot of people thought that Colorado wasn't going to be able to get to the championship this year anyways, but they thought that they would be able to at least beat Seattle. But when you watch the Kraken in that first game and when the Kraken won 3-1 on the road, I think you kind of knew that maybe they had a chance. And unbelievable. I think I need to go to the dispensary, but they close in 14 minutes. So I'll have to look to see what I have. A celebratory. Man, unbelievable, huh? All the favorites are eliminated, and that's what makes everything so exciting. Awesome, man. And like I said, the more that I do the games, the more familiar I'm going to be with everything. And then obviously once I go in person, then it'll take that. It's like when, getting a foul ball at the Mariners game. It's like sometimes you got to have that memory for it to be able to fully sink in. And, we had good results today. I didn't know what the turnout was going to be like. I took some time on the thumb and we definitely got a good turnout today. And I'm glad I did this because it's a part of history. And it's good that I can have this, as far as like a memory on the channel, with the video rather than just me watching and then not sharing it with you guys. So there's the MVP right there, baby. He's like, I will play against my former team and beat their ass. Gruba.
Well, for those who had you written off and who doubted you in this series, what can you say about your team's character and determination?
Yeah, it started beginning of the season. A lot of people had written us off. So
Yeah, but I think that if I do like regular season hockey, that it might be. I mean, I think if I did Seattle regular season, I would get some Seattle people. You know what I mean? But it probably would be hit or miss on some of them. But anytime it's playoffs, especially a game 7, something where it means something. I mean, yeah. And so am I going to do some Seattle and Dallas Stars? You bet your ass I'm going to. So, everything turned out good, and hopefully we'll get some subs. We'll get some more views. We'll get some new goats. We'll get some new people. And, if anything, at the very, very least, we got someone on the hockey side that can, give us a little bit more. And it always happens when we do something new. So we appreciate you, Dusk. Biscuits are hard to get in the crowd. Absolutely. I don't even know what to say right now. I haven't been this pumped up for hockey since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like watching Mario Lemieux or Jaromir Jagr and playing, NHL 94, 95 on the Genesis and watching Wayne Gretzky and whatnot. I haven't, and also living in Oregon, we never had a team. So it was always like Portland Winterhawks, and when you're doing Winterhawks, it's not the same as like a pro team and obviously having other great teams come to Seattle. But the Pacific Northwest, I mean, with the success of the Seahawks and the Mariners last year, and then obviously now the Kraken this year, it's a great time to be alive here in the Pacific Northwest and Oregon and Washington, man. Yeah. Could you imagine if they beat Dallas? Wow, that would be something. Yeah, and now it gives me another thing to do on the channel for more content because, like I said, you're just always looking to be able to find the right people that you can vibe with, and I'm really happy that we decided to do this today. I know, and isn't that crazy? But like I said, I think that even if you weren't a hockey expert, watching the first game and seeing the Kraken win 3-1 on the road, that was a kind of a tale of what was possibly to come. And I knew the Avalanche were going to win game 2 because usually teams will respond after that. And then they ended up winning game 3. But then the Kraken won game 4, 3-2 in OT. That was game-changing. Then won 3-2 in game 5 on the road. And then Avalanche, decided to punch back. But obviously the series was won in game 4 in that overtime game. Because if they would have dropped that game, the series would have been over. So really awesome to be able to see Seattle sports be at an all-time high right now. I don't know if the energy has been this high for Pacific Northwest sports besides, obviously Sonics aren't around. But, having the success of the Mariners, Seahawks, and now Kraken, pretty exciting. Oh, my gosh. Awesome. I don't even know what to say right now.
Such a rich history.
Fuck. What a game. Unbelievable. Well, I know I got some other things that I got to do on top of this. So more than likely we'll end up, probably ending the stream here, and then we'll be back tomorrow. I was planning on doing the Dodger game tomorrow and then doing the Mariner game on Tuesday on my birthday. But I guess I got to look on the schedule here. Let's take a look to see what they have. All right, so Monday is the Rangers and the Devils at 5. And do they have anything else? And they don't even show me anything past that. So I don't know when the Stars and the Kraken are going to play. But if they do play on Tuesday, I would consider doing that over the Mariners. So, yeah, fun stream, huh? It was a good time. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And like I said, I probably have to go run to the store. Maybe I'll go take Paisley for another walk and whatnot. But this was one of the more enjoyable streams. Even if Seattle would have lost, I still would have had a great time being able to try to, watch history happen. But yeah, if the game is on Tuesday, I'll probably do that for my birthday over just a regular season game of the Mariners and the. But it also depends on what time it's on. Hopefully, it's on later on in the evening at like 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. But we'll figure it out. But I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you to everyone that donated. Let's make sure I don't have any other donations here sitting in the bucket like an idiot I was with Mike and all his support. Mike, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your 3 donos on here as well as the people that donated on the stream. I appreciate you guys, just like with Jameson, Sarah, and a few others. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. What a fantastic stream. So happy that I ended up doing it. I felt if I did it, maybe it would be a little luck for them, and here we go. Game 7, final score, Kraken 2, Avalanche 1. Seattle advances against the Dallas Stars in the second round. Unbelievable. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be doing something. We'll see what we do, baseball or hockey. We'll kind of play things out by ear, and I'll do maybe like a poll on the community page. But thank you to everyone that subbed, that viewed, that liked the stream, that donated. You guys are the best. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay.